Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, we the sons of Thunder Israelites. It's a heart's prayer and desire that all Israel be saved. All right, I'm your brother Judah.
Come on, brother Boaz.
Soldier Karash.
You already know what it is, man. Like the video when you enter the building, Baba Kashah. All right, make sure you subscribe to our various channels, Sons of Thunder Israelites. This one right here, the one you're on, right? Sons of Thunder Israelites, North Carolina. Sons of Thunder Israelites, Alabama, as well as Sons of Thunder Israelites, San Francisco, man. All right, make sure you do that for us when you enter the building, Baba Kashah. All right, let's have a little dialogue today, man. We seen the video, all right, the interview of Elder Y'all were all being interviewed by KBLA's what's his name, Donna Meet. Shaquat told me I said his name wrong. I think it's Amici or Miche. It's one of them. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to the brother, man. I couldn't pronounce his name right. Right? But he was interviewed by the brother, all right, where, he got to bring out some truth, man. And, he got some questions and answers in, a little bit of, I guess you want to say some mist. I won't call it smoke. Some mist, in the building and all of that. And, man, he made the truth look good. So we wanted to do a little reaction video to it. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you like the video when you enter the building. All right. And, man, keep them comments coming in the chat, right? So I'm gonna yield. I'm gonna let the brother Boaz, man, shout some people out in the chat for me, King.
Con. So just a quick shout out to the people in the chat. Man, she gonna be mad I messed this up. The sister Yedaya, Shalom sis, brother Kayvon, Shalom King, Princess Labrakia, Shalom sis, Aisha, Shalom. The sister with the Hebrew name that brothers cannot pronounce, Shalom sis. Shalom to the brother CJ, Shalom to Soldier Shakur, Shalom to John Allen, Shalom to Jezreel 12. Khan, peace to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Win Walker, Shalom. Rochelle, Shalom Queen. Shalom Beverly Pleasure. Shalom to Trey Lindsay. Shalom Malak Yawasop King. Shalom. Khan Soldier Sanctuary. Shalom King. Shalom to Yaiqua Araya. Shalom to Soldier Warrior Micah Allah. Shalom King. Shalom to Joan Gilchrist. Shalom Queen. How y'all doing? Shalom to Soldier Holy. Shalom. Shalom to SOT Uriah. Shalom King. Shalom to Jason. Shalom to Adawan. Y'all were all. Shalom Adawan. Shalom to Trey Lindsay. Shalom to Amayan. Salakia. Shalom, sister. Shalom to Darash. Shalom to Said Israel Abaya. I believe that's the brother. Yeah, it is. Shalom King. Shalom to Soldier Kadar Haran. Shalom King. How you doing? Shalom to Jazzy. Shalom to Shipra. What's going on, sis? I ain't seen her in a minute. Shalom to Natalie and shalom to Reggie. Shalom to Soldier Yawasop out there in Chicago putting in the work with Watchmen for Israel. And shalom to Banyamyan. Khan, man, we glad to see y'all in here with us. Just make sure y'all are sending out and liking the video when you come in and sharing it on the platforms. This is going to help as far as the algorithm, because YouTube's a little funny with the algorithm, especially with us being out here trying to bring out the truth. So, please be of assistance with us. That way we can get this out to the nation, so they can get this truth. The water.
All praise. Hey, mic check. I'm good.
Kind, you good, Adawan?
All right, for sure. I didn't even set up my mic before the class. That's crazy. All right, that's what's up. All praise to the Most High. So we ain't gonna, without any further ado, we're gonna get into it, man. Right? We celebrated the brothers at IUIC. You know what I'm saying, for being called upon to do an interview on the mainstream platform, and we're gonna do the same thing with our other one. You know what I'm saying, being called to do an interview through the brother Captain Shaquat. Shout out to Captain Shaquat for making it happen. You know what I'm saying? And we got to push this word a little bit, right? So let's get into it, man. I'm gonna bring it up real quick. Let's get into it. 1 second. Let's get into it. Shut this screen real fast, man. All right, boom. Let's see which one I want. Yeah, this is the one I want. All right, let's get into it.
Okay.
I love it. Hour 3 of this 3-hour thrill ride. Donna meet you first, everybody. Krista and Shay Dixon on fire.
Salakia.
I'm skipping past that. I'm skipping past that.
Salakia, I don't know if your volume is low. I don't know if anybody in the chat, if y'all could put a 7 in the chat if the volume is good.
No, it's me. I got it.
Okay.
It was me. Yeah, it was me. Salakia, it was me. Here we go.
Analysis and doctrine. And Shay Dixon, Israelites, skilled in the biblical Hebrew and Greek analysis and doctrine, and it's kind of shedding some light. And we're getting a crash course on the beliefs and the ideology of the Hebrew Israelites, and I really appreciate this masterclass here. I'm learning so much, and even this debate going back and forth and the questioning, I love it. You know, we don't do enough of it in our culture here in America. Of really trying to decipher and figure out where we come from, the origins of why we do the things that we do, and our spirituality. And it's great to be talking to a brother who can shed some light from a perspective that I'm a little bit ignorant to, and a lot of us are a little bit ignorant to. So thank you so much, Joel, for joining us, and appreciate that. Q and Lynette, I see your phone calls. So you guys hang on the line. Francesca, if you want to call us back, 800-920-1580. So the question you had, if we can get back to it, was
they started a whole nother stream. Salakia, y'all.
Yeah.
Salakia. They started a whole nother stream.
I'm gonna send you the first one right now, Adawan.
I think this one right here. Let me find out. Hold on.
Yeah, that's the second half of it.
Yeah.
Because he had to they had to cut back into it.
Yeah, you're right. Salaki. And all praise to the Most High. It wasn't even a short video, man. It was we was expecting it to be a 30-minute, interview. Ended up going longer. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. When you get these opportunities, right? This is for everybody who represents the truth in any way, shape, or form, right? When you get these opportunities, you got to learn how to finagle it, to extend the conversation, and that's exactly what happened, right? So let me get this new one right here. I'm about to bring it up. Give me 1 second, and then we're gonna get into it. Salaki, I thought I had the right one, but I didn't.
While you do that, can I get a precept on what you were just saying? Speaking on.
Yep. Go ahead.
Because that was something that the Adawan, he was mentioning in the video, as far as like if you was watching it on the end of him doing the video on the Sons of Thunder channel, he was talking about staying in the spirit and being eloquent when you speak and knowing how to speak and respond to situations and having control in your spirit, right? But this is in the book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 11, right? It says, be swift to hear and let thy life be sincere, and with patience give answer, right? So he was showing a whole lot of that patience, giving the answer for the people. That way you can get understood, even though he couldn't come out with scriptures as much he was trying to, because he was trying to conduct the conversation in a very great and eloquent way. So it didn't seem like, I guess you could say, like they was being bombarded with scripture, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. Like he tried to, he did a great job as far as like just answering without using the Bible in some aspects, you know what I'm saying? But of course the Bible had to come out at the end of the day. All right. But I yield.
Con, all praises. Right? Now, let's go to it. Let's get the beginning of the doggone video. My bad. That was on me. All right, here you go. That's it. I just had to make sure I had the right one. I don't know why in the world they had to do 3 different streams for that one show, but I guess that's how they do it. They probably cut it into segments. It's all good. I just want to make sure I'm on the right one. All right, let me back up about 2-3 seconds. Let's see if this is it.
Young lady. Kyrie Irving's been in the news lately over a tweet. He got suspended for tweeting a link to a movie, Hebrews to Negroes. And I was upset about that whole thing. The Hebrew Israelites kind of came up in discussion out of this whole situation. And I thought we'd dig into who are the Hebrew Israelites and find out their origin, what their beliefs are. And I was very proud of the Hebrew Israelites when they showed up in front of the Barclays Center in support of Kyrie Irving. Now, I don't know if Kyrie Irving has ties to them or not, but I love that men showed up to show support for a brother who's being demonized in the press and being a large amount of propaganda was being used to create a narrative about him that just was not true. So on the phone with us, we have I'm gonna try to get this right because it's a little different. Yawa'al Ban Yahawada, is that correct?
Right, that's how you would say my name in the Hebrew. You could call me Joel. That's
Joel.
That's the.
All right, Joel. I just want to get it correct. I want to say Joel is an instructor with the Sons of Thunder Israelites.
Yes.
And you're out of let's see, you're in Atlanta, right? Or you're on the East Coast somewhere?
That's correct.
Instructed by Zabak Khani of House of Israel, skilled in biblical Hebrew and Greek analysis and doctrine. And you are a Hebrew Israelite theologian. And I want to thank you for joining us on the show. And thank you for everything you do to my good brother, Rob Stevens, who I know him as Rob. We go way, way back. But he's a good brother. And, he told me about you a while ago. But thank you for joining us on the show, and hopefully you can enlighten us today on the Hebrew Israelites and what the organization is all about. Is it anti-Semitic? Is it there's a lot of propaganda out in the press and on social media. I know the ADL kind of says that there are facts of the Hebrew Israelites that are anti-Semitic or radical, I should say. And I just wanted to kind of clear all of this smoke and mirror up and go right directly to the source. So thank you for joining us. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Thanks for having me. And a big shout out to Brother Rob. He's a great brother. I appreciate him.
So what brought you to become a Hebrew Israelite? Were you raised like this?
Well, no, this is not my upbringing. However, I was raised to respect and to read the Bible. That is the discipline that came with being in my household. That's how my mother raised me and my brother. My father was an advocate and allowed my mother to raise me and my brother as Bible students. As I became older.
Now, why is the sister already making facial expressions already? Like, what do you know what I'm saying? It's so he asked, is this your upbringing? No. My upbringing was that of, you know what I'm saying, two parents who taught us the Bible in the house. But this was not an upbringing. What's confusing?
Yo, Salakia. I think it's because, you know what I'm saying, she wanted to get into that whole spiritualities kick, man.
Yeah. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. But, yo, like, I'm going to tell you, she was annoying. She was, we love the sister. That's still our sister. Beautiful sister, but she was annoying. She was a little annoying. She wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, wouldn't let the brother talk. The whole nine is like, yo, relax, sis. That's all. Relax. All right, let's keep going.
And I began to study the history. I started to see some logical fallacies in Christianity itself, and this led me to do further research. And that is how I discovered teachers like Zabak Khani, who are so skilled in the Bible that it's eye-opening. And that being from my community and looking like me, it was easy to digest the authoritative position he took on the scriptures. And what I did, I learned that Christianity is based on the Bible, like most religions. However, it is not, what the word I should choose is, it is lenient when it comes to following what God actually commands us to do. So I was convicted by that. I became a full-time practicing Hebrew Israelite. I learned my nationality through the scripture, through prophecy, and through archaeology and history that I was not taught in my prior discipline. And from there, the word came alive, and I haven't looked back.
What age were you when this kind of when you started studying this?
I want to say I was about 30 years old.
30 years old. The Christian Bible is very interesting. A lot of us are indoctrinated into it at a very young age, and we just take it as fact without really doing any real work. It's a very hard book to kind of read, where you do need to go to seminary school or to have some type of degree in theology to really kind of understand the core meaning of what the words meant at the time that it was orally or transcribed and written down. What fallacies did you find in Christianity or leniencies in Christianity that you didn't agree with, that you feel that God wanted us to abide by?
Well, one thing I found that was missing from Christianity's instructions was the key principle and the core purpose of the scriptures. Do I have the ability to go into the scriptures? I'm not going to read long ones, just quick ones to make points. Is that?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So one thing that Christianity left out, and when I say Christianity, I'm talking about the Baptist religion, the Catholic religion, the Jehovah's Witness religion, etc. All the denominations of Christendom, what they leave out is the core principle that the Bible is about the Israelites. All of your prophets, all of your records and writings are by Israelites, and they are the chosen people of God. That's one thing that we're missing.
Now, I want you to put a 1 in the chat if your church ever taught you. Matter of fact, put a yes or no in the chat if your church ever taught you about the Israelites ever. Moses was a notable figure in the Bible. Paul was a notable figure in the Bible. John the Baptist was a notable figure in the Bible. Tell me, did any of y'all churches ever teach y'all that any of these people were Israelites? Moses, listen, I knew that Moses led the children of Israel out of Egypt. I knew that. I knew that part. I knew he led the children of Israel out of Egypt, but I didn't know he himself was an Israelite. That's how vague we were learning this Bible, man. Look at all these no's, man. Right? So we can all agree with what he said. We can all agree with that. The first thing, that's one of the most important things to know, right? Was number one, the whole book is about one nation of people. They got you thinking that this book is about everybody. You see what I'm saying? Now, it's common sense some of the people in there was black when you read some of the scriptures. You see what I'm saying? However, when they painted all of these other people, the notable people, white in the Bible, it's like, okay, yeah, well, these people are clearly black, but look at all these white people. So this must be talking about everybody. We didn't learn that stuff. They didn't talk about who the Israelites are. Hey, Soldier Holy, they didn't talk about the Israelites at all. At none of my churches. I've been to a few of them. Right? I'm gonna let them keep going, but that's something familiar that we can all attest to, right?
And when we say Israelites, there is a distinction between, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's a distinction between Israelites and the Jewish people. Is
right.
Is that right? Because the Jews are descendants of the Judeans, I should say?
Well, no. To be a true Judean means you are from the southern kingdom of Israel, biblically speaking. That means you come from 3 tribes out of the 12. You come from Judah, Benjamin, or Levi.
Right.
Coming from those 3 tribes is the definition of being a Jew. What we know today of Jews are people who are Judaized and have taken on Judaic practices. I do not believe that a majority of them make the natural claim that they are a descendant of Jacob, but instead that it is their culture to practice Judaism.
Gotcha.
And this is also something that has nuance to it.
He was very clever in how he answered that. Because he could have straight up said, these people who call themselves Jews today are Russian Khazarian converts. That he could have just went in, right? But you got to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, right? He already got an enemy off the rip. As soon as he got on, he got an enemy off the top. Somebody was adverse to what was being taught, right? He could have just went straight in, but he was like, no, these people were Judaized. Somebody in the chat tell me what Judaized right? What being Judaized mean in the chat. Somebody let me know, right? Somebody let me know what being Judaized is, because hey, Khan, it was clever how he did that. And at first, I'm listening, and you got to think about how you would answer these questions, right? So I'm like, yo, why he say it like that? Like, and then after he put the period on his sentence, I was like, okay, I see why. Right? You got to get your point across. Boaz, don't put the answer. You on the show. This brother, man.
It's like, yeah.
Right. Con.
I was waiting. It was taking too long, man.
It's gonna be later on our end. It's gonna be later on our end, right? But I was like, yo, why he answer it like that, dog? I'm like, man, he could have, you know what I'm saying? Just say it. And then I was thinking, like, yo, you know what? Nah, we ain't gonna go in like this. And then, as we seen, if you watch the actual interview or if you listen to it, the brother Don is a great interviewer. I don't want y'all all led him into some things, and then brother Don opened the door for us to go deeper. You got, hey, guess what? We all have to learn how to do this. What's up, Karash? You got something?
Yeah, I got a precept.
Go ahead, King.
Give me Matthew 10:16, and it says, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove."
There we go.
So he was being crafty. He had to be choice with his words.
That's right. That's right. You know what I'm saying? That's right.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to get into it too soon because we'll see later on in the video the reason why. But there's a reason why behind it, because the certain questions that get thrown at him, like,
yeah. Right. Darash, you're right. The interview did listen and engage, and that was a good thing. He was actually trying to. You can tell when somebody's trying to actually learn. You know what I'm saying? And then you can tell when somebody is, I know something too. That's the worst type of person in the world. The one, I know something too. So I'm going to use this as, because some people feel threatened when right, Sister Jacqueline, right. She said many cut you off because you don't already have the thoughts of Yahweh Shah. We're not patient enough when introducing the truth. That's a fact, right? That's a fact. And when we first come into the truth, we like the Energizer Bunny. We want to do. And it's like, yo, now, hey, you don't want to hear it, that's fine. Once you get a little seasoned, it's like, yo, I'm not about to do that, right? But the thing is this, that I know something too person, that's the worst type of person in the world, is because it's like their ego or their pride gets hit. If somebody in the room has some type of knowledge that will make other people listen. So now they have to make it known, I know something too. We'll see that at the end of this. We'll see. See.
Salakia, the sister, she was ready to jump off. And like her mannerisms was ready to pop off, man.
Yeah, facts. That's a fact. And we'll see why she like that a little bit later. Because, I listened to them a couple of times before the interview actually started. So, but we seen that in the interview with the Bishop Nathaniel. At the end of the interview, somebody had to, I know something. I have an idea. Yo, it's not, your dialogue isn't needed right now. Right? Let's keep going.
There is a lot of nuance because there was a southern kingdom and a northern kingdom of Israel. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then the northern kingdom got destroyed by the Babylonians.
Well, not destroyed. The children of Israel will stand for time indefinite as God's chosen people and as prophecy declared. They're always going to be around, but they will be scattered through violence and war because of their disobedience to the Lord. And this is the key thing. The Israelites were scattered because of disobedience, not because of luck or happenstance. And the question is, disobedience to what? And it is what Christianity has removed from our diet. The Israelites were scattered for disobedience to God's laws. That is what earned their subjection to the other nations and eventually becoming the diaspora that we know today.
So, because I've looked at some historians who say when the Babylonians came in and conquered the northern kingdom, that some from the northern kingdom got absorbed into the southern kingdom, and then some got, I guess, put into slavery in Babylon. Is that correct?
We went into slavery into a multitude of nations: Assyria, Egypt, Babylon, Nineveh, which is a subsidy of Babylon. Places like Shinar beyond, Rome, Greece. We were in so many captivities because of our inability to stick to the script. And now we're finding out that the script is not important. You know, I'm learning in these schools that God's laws are done away with. And that is an oxymoron if the displeasure of the Most High is you avoiding his laws. And that brought me into this discipline. It brought me into the faith and opened up a lot of doors mentally and spiritually for me.
You got a question?
Yeah, hi. So my question to you is this. I keep hearing that phrase, the chosen people, and I think that's what has always confused me and like my family and my friends. There was one rabbi that I heard explain the chosen people, and he's basically said what that means is to spread the word. That's why you hear that term, the chosen people, but that's the only.
What? She said the rabbi told her what?
Some nonsense out of wine.
Yo.
Yeah, I got the precept ready.
Go ahead, bring it out.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6.
Don't bring that out yet. Salakia.
Okay.
Matter of fact, go ahead. I'm gonna bring it out.
I mean, just speaking on the note of her not knowing where the chosen came from, and she's saying, I don't even know what she said, but whatever the rabbi told her, like, that's not according to the Bible. Deuteronomy 7 and 6 says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth." So that's where the term chosen comes from.
Right.
Because the Most High chose us.
And that was from the beginning. Right? Did he not promise to Abraham to make a great nation out of him? Right? He when the Most High said that he was going to destroy the children of Israel for them making a golden calf and saying this golden calf is the one that took us out of Egypt. The Most High told Moses, yo, go down there and get these people. They don't already transgress, man. You know what I'm saying? And he said, I'm going to make a great nation out of you. Just let me alone. I'm going to destroy these people, make a great nation out of you. And Moses had to remind the Most High God, not really remind him, but he was like, yo, remember what you said that our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. You know what I'm saying? If you destroy these people, that will be of none effect. Like, you know what I'm saying? This from the beginning of the time, man. It was promised to Abraham that there will be a great nation. Right? So spreading the word. You spreading the word is doing the work of an evangelist.
Right.
That's it. Right?
That has nothing to do with being chosen.
Exactly. So
I can give you that precept in Genesis 17 and 7.
Bring it out.
And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, and their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee.
That's right. He promised Abraham that way back. So I mean, that's where that comes from. That's good. Let's keep going though. Cause I might skip through this thing because there's a part that I really want to get to. I'm interested to get to it.
Definition I've heard. Could you kind of explain what that really means?
All right. So we wouldn't be subject to the interpretation of rabbis. Hebrew Israelites reject Talmud and any associating document with Torah.
And the Talmud is the practices of the Jewish people. Is that right? The Torah is the written word of God, and the Talmud is the practices of the Jewish people. Is that right?
Torah meaning law or instruction loosely, but the Talmud is more of the interpretation of the Torah. So it would be like if you come across scripture, there would be an interpretation of how to approach that scripture. That would be your Torah. It's similar to Hadith for Muslims.
Right. So basically, it's the interpretation of the law through that the Jewish people have had, right? Like somebody analysis of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it is connected to the actual descendants of Jacob. I would say that it comes more after captivity. Hence, you have the Babylonian Talmud.
So what am I understanding that you guys are basically not looking at the individuals in Israel today, and you're going back to the root of Israel and the Hebrews, and that's where the division comes in.
Yeah, well, division is prophesied to happen through Christ. Christ said, "I come not to bring peace, but division." So to divide a household and to divide one from another. But that has.
And she act like she's reading the Bible. Like, these faces be killing me, right? Because she acts like she reads the Bible. Like, that don't even make sense. Like, yo, sis, relax. And there's a lot of sisters like this, man. We was having a conversation today on Facebook. A brother had brought out something about polygyny. You know, that's sister's kryptonite. Soon as she hits the polit, she's already ready to go off, right? So it was two worldly sisters, I guess he knows from his hometown, and they're going crazy in the chat. If a woman has a man with another wife, she's taking less than what she deserves. And it's like, yo, sis, you're acting like you even practice being an Israelite, period.
Right.
All brothers in Israel don't have multiple wives. That's number one. So there's a lot of sisters who are married to a man who only desires one wife, right? And that's it. She will never have a sister wife. You're acting like you are a practicing Israelite at all. This has nothing to do with you. You don't even know what you're talking about. And this is what this sister's doing. She made faces this entire interview.
The whole time.
As if she really knew what was going on. And if this was a moderated debate where she had to challenge and be challenged against the elder, it would have been bad. It would have been bad.
It would have been over with.
Yeah, it would have been bad, because when you can, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna let that come out. Let's keep going.
An understanding, and that understanding comes from the awakening when you learn why the Israelites are the Lord's chosen people. I want to run scripture. This is Isaiah 41:8. It says, "But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, who I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my son." So the Israelites are who the Lord has chosen. When you get into Christendom, they make the church the representation of ethnic Israel, which we don't see in the scriptures as Hebrew Israelites and disagree with from a theological standpoint.
Got you. We're talking with Joel, who is with the School of Sons of Thunder Israelites. Joel, can you hold on for a second? When we come forward, I want to ask you about a lot of your practices. This is very interesting as we dig into who the Hebrew Israelites are, what they believe, and try to shed some light on this, because there's a lot of confusion out there. We see a lot of Israelites on the weekends preaching. I see them all over, and I've seen this movement kind of pick up steam and grow. And I want to ask you about that. Is the movement here in America picking up steam and growing? And then on top of that is, how is it that Black people in America are the chosen, or are the Hebrew Israelites? So we're going to get to all these questions. We'll take yours at 800-920-1580. More of this conversation with Joel, Sons of Thunder Israelites, when we come forward. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
You on mute, Adawan.
Salaki, we're going to take a commercial break ourselves, right? All right, make sure you donate to the movement. Make sure you donate to your brothers if you support what we got going on here, Sons of Thunder Israelites. You know, we're trying to build a school, man. You know, we're trying to build a school. You see what I'm saying? All right, you know, we're trying to build a school. We're trying to do different things. We got different camps popping up, you know what I'm saying, around the East and the West Coast. All praise to the Most High. We got new soldiers coming in. You know what I mean? Like this brother Karash on the screen, brand new soldier. You know what I'm saying? One of the brothers that I personally brought in. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's my man's right there. That brother, he nice with it, right? And we're going to have more brothers coming in. So, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's a super chat, we appreciate it. If it's a cash app, you can see it right above my head. We appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was about to play a commercial. We're gonna start having commercials soon, you know what I'm saying? But Shaquat, but yeah, you gotta teach me how to do it, Shaquat. This brother Shaquat, the multimedia man. But yeah, man, make sure you donate to the movement, man. You helping us out with the feast days. You helping us out with the building of the school. You know what I'm saying? It costs bringing new soldiers in the whole 9 yards. So anything that you do to help the camp, you know what I'm saying, we appreciate wholeheartedly, right? So with that, we gonna get back into it. I'm gonna just start it off from where they ended on the commercial break. Unless somebody got something to say real quick.
I got a little something to say real quick.
Go ahead, King.
Hey man, because the spirit that the sister got on her with her facial expression, man, it's an expression like of pride. You know what I'm saying? Like she was real proud, like making faces, making distinct ugly faces, like he don't know what he's talking about. Like you talking about somebody who spent a lot of time studying, doing research in archaeology, geology, history, and everything, and they got all this information and he presented it to you. Like there was no reason for her to sit back there and make no faces. I just want to bring out this in Sirach 10 and 13. It says, for pride is the beginning of sin, and he that have it shall pour out abomination. Right? And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. Right? But again, it says, he that have it shall pour out abomination. Like her ideology or what she was talking about, and something that Adawan spoke on in the commercial part of the interview, because he was like, we have historians in our school who know about this ideology.
He might come on in a minute too.
Who will break this down, you know what I'm saying, and give good understanding to it. I was reading something about it that had something to do with because somebody made a comment in there talking about she don't know what she's talking about, referring to cowrie or something like that. And when I went to look up the word, it was talking about shells that they believed in to bring you blessings and fertility. Like what? So now you have like some idolism in the possession where it's like this thing is going to bring you blessings and fertility or something crazy like that. A shell, like something you would get on the beach. Like that makes no sense, man.
And I call Cap when she says she, I practice this religion and I'm teaching. You know what? She might be practicing it. She said I'm teaching the younger people. You don't even know what you're teaching, because when you say that because, and she's gonna get into about a little spoiler, when you say we shouldn't believe in the Bible because African spirituality is the oldest religion on earth, I would love to ask you what nation in Africa you come from. What tribe of Africa do you come from? Excuse me. Out of the 3,000 different dialects of the African language, which one did you speak?
Right.
Out of all the religious practices in Africa, which one did you practice? Because now you got to narrow it down to where in Africa you were from, right? What tribe you came from, the dialect of the people. Like you gotta break it down all the way down there. She just picked one and ran with it because she said it's the oldest. But I got a scripture for you when we get to that part. But like I said, man, support the movement. We appreciate all the donations and the help you guys give. All right, the Sons of Thunder Israelites. And the Most High, may the Most High bless you for all the donations and the help that you give the brothers as we continue to move towards the goal of building the school. All right, so let's keep it moving.
Force in front of the stadium in Brooklyn over the whole Kyrie Irving situation. I want to thank you for enlightening us on the practices and beliefs. So let's get back into it. Are Black people in America the chosen people? Because I've heard this. I've heard that from the Nation of Islam. I've heard that from a lot of I think a lot of Hebrew Israelites. Is that correct?
We teach that the descendants of slavery and the indigenous people of the Americas of Negro and Indian descent are Israelites according to archaeology and prophecy. And we have a method of explaining that. But we also teach the spiritual understanding that if your desire is to keep God's laws, and that's inherently inside of you to submit to the will of the Most High, the sheep hear the voice of the shepherd, and thus you also qualify as a child of Israel. We do not teach phenotypically being so-called black is what makes you an Israelite.
Right.
Salaki, y'all can hear me?
Another one.
Salaki, that was on me. Salaki. Give me Romans 8:16. Right? He was smooth right there, right? That was on me, y'all. That was on me. Salaki. That was on me. I keep forgetting to hit the unmute button. Right? He was smooth right there because he said that we teach that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of Negro and Indian descent of descendants of slavery are, in fact, the Israelites. And then he quoted this scripture. Give me that.
The book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 16. The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High.
He quoted that, and I'm sitting here like, yo, like, I always, like, this is like a game to me. So, like, when people do interviews, when an Israelite actually gets an interview, whether it's low level or whether it's on a high level, regardless, right? I make sure that I think about how would I answer these questions, because I'm not going to be able to remember what the person who's getting interviewed says word for word. And the person who's interviewing me might not ask them the same question the same way. I mean, they might not have asked them the same thing the same way. So I'm always thinking, how would I answer these questions? And I was like, yo, why is he saying it like that? But then he was basically saying something without saying it. The common misconception that people put on Israelites is this: only black people are Israelites. If you do not have brown skin, you cannot be an Israelite. That's a common misconception. No matter how many times we teach Numbers 1 and 18, no matter how many times we teach Ezra 2 and 59, I want both of those precepts. Boaz, give me Numbers 1 and 18. Korash, give me Ezra 2 and 59. Right? That's right. Yaakov does do that a lot. He does do that. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. I don't want to have to pass it to the next brother because I'm incapable of answering the questions correctly, or I don't have the decorum, right? I don't have the decorum to be able to do it myself. Now, I don't want y'all all actually said something at the end of the video yesterday. He said, yo, leave it to the brothers who can teach to do this. If you can't do it, don't do it.
Right.
Revert that to somebody else. Let somebody else do it. But don't be sitting there and not, because guess what? If you're a teacher on the street, it's the same thing. This ain't no different than the street. This ain't no different than the street. On the street, you can kind of keep it a little bit more raw. But when you're on a national platform or mainstream media platform, then you got to be wise. What would you do in this situation? So no matter how many times we teach that it has nothing to do with your skin color, they keep saying, oh, it's only blacks. If you don't have black skin. So if that's the case, the brother Don can't be an Israelite then, because he's not brown per se. He's light skinned.
Right.
And we don't teach that. Go ahead and read that, Boaz.
It's the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls.
Right, Malak's pointing at himself, and if you've seen in the actual comment, but he was like, Malak, y'all was like, yo, I'm not dark skinned. You see what I'm saying? right? But they if you let them tell it, they say we're identity extremists. Like we just, if you're not black, you're not chosen. Meaning black, meaning brown skin, right? Now we don't judge off of skin color. Esau's the one who does that. Esau never asked you, is your granddaddy on your father's side a white man? Because if so, you can drink at this cool water fountain. You can go to this bathroom. You can actually sit in the front of this bus. He didn't do that. Your skin is black or brown. That's it. So now they try to put that on us. You see how he do that? You see how they did that? They try to put that back on us. But that's not so. That's not what the Bible say. Read that, Karash. Unmute, King. Karash, unmute.
Salaki. The book of Ezra, chapter 2, verse 59. And these were they which went up from Tamila to Hersha, Sharub, Adan, and Emma. But they could not show their father's house and their seed, whether they were of Israel.
The thing that we was testing was your seed line. Who carries the seed? The father. It's easy. The father carries the seed, right? So you determine who you are by your father. Let Esau tell it. We see people how they see people, right? That's the biggest, most hypocritical thing that they ever put on us. The most hypocritical thing they ever put on us is we do what they do. Your skin is brown, you're black. You are this, you are these people. Like, that's not what the Lord says, right? Let's keep going.
We don't see.
Are you, so do people classify the Hebrew Israelites as a hate group?
Absolutely.
Why is that?
They say we're a hate group because we read the Bible out loud. And the thing about the Bible is, as my educator always taught us, the Bible is an explicit text. It goes into everything: war, murder, death, destruction, life, and resurrection. And what we do is we read prophecy out loud. And Christians see our rejection of their indoctrination as propagation of hate. And there are many examples of that.
Can you give me one, like a common example of like what Christians may feel that you may be against?
Watch how he do this.
Well, we teach that as so-called Blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, you should prefer and love your own people. They classify that as racism, even though all nations do it. However, the Bible literally teaches this. This is Romans 12:10, one of my favorite scriptures from the New Testament. And
Salaki, that sister still making them faces. If she took her behind to one of them tribal parts of Africa, she would know firsthand that every nation do it. Because guess what? They would have been calling herself, what does the Africans call us? Akata?
Yeah, Akata. Khan. Akata.
Now she probably would have been like, oh, they giving me a nickname. I fit in. No, they would have showed you that every nation does it. Because every nation knows who their people are except for us. That's Isaiah 1:3 all day long. Let's keep going.
And look what it says. It says, be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, in honor, preferring one another. We're supposed to prefer each other, but you see in Black culture, so-called Hispanic and Black culture, that we actually are violent towards each other and extremely patient and accepting towards the disrespect from the other nations. But with us, it's up and it's stuck. We will kill each other, rob, murder each other, and destroy each other at the drop of a dime. But we have some type of intellectual courtesy for the other nations who have historically destroyed, raped, robbed, and murdered us. That is also a part of why they say we teach hate, is because we openly teach facts about history.
Why do you think that we are so kind to other races and not to our own? Because there is I think as Black people in this country, we can look at.
The brother Don just said facts. Did you see her face when he said that?
She sat back here and made a face like that. Don't like how is that possible? Like that
How
statement
are black
doesn't
people
sound
more
so
nice
true.
to white people? Come on, yo.
Like, come on, man.
Come
Like
on.
let's be real. Like, surely she knows about the situation of the girls that traveled out of town, and because they had some alt between the sister and had a problem with her, y'all decided to beat her up, kill her, and then turn around and tell her family it was alcohol poisoning. Like, you don't think that's like some type of hate or spite against our own people? Like,
Watch this,
she
brother.
has to know this information being on the radio talk show.
Watch
Surely
this,
they talked
brother.
about it.
Watch this, right? There's a reason why men, there's a reason why brothers tell their wives, yo, you not gonna talk to me like that. Treat me the same way you treat your white boss at work. There's a reason why brothers say that. You know why? Because black people have been conditioned to treat master better than their brother and sister.
Right.
I mean, she's showcasing it right now, actually.
Thank you. Bingo. Ding, 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 ding.
Because the brother can't even bring out facts without her face scrunching up. You know what I'm saying?
A brother can't even ask a question to get some answers for some factual stuff without her face squinting up.
That's what I'm wondering, y'all. What's up? I'm like, dang, sis, like, yo, like, and see, your mind state can make you ugly. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get that precept in a second, right? Salakia for my language. I ain't brought this precept out in so long. I'm about to find it though.
Yeah, I got one.
You got let me get it. Sirach 25:17. Somebody give me that.
All right. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 17. The wickedness of a woman changeth her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth.
Come on, man. Read it again.
Kind. It says the wickedness of a woman changeth her face.
The wickedness of a woman changes her face. Yo, I be telling sisters this all the time, yo. I don't want to say the word because Salaki, I'm gonna say a word. We all grown. I really don't care, but just for the broadcast sake, there's a term called a resting bitch face.
God.
Put a one in the chat if you ever heard of that. Put a one in the chat if you ever heard of a resting bitch face.
Hey man, them ones need to be flying in right now.
Right? This wickedness coming out through pores. Right? Boom. We got ones coming in, right? Ones coming in, right? So you got the resting bitch face, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, they say, oh, that's just my face. That's how, you know, I just be looking like that. And no. Your face ain't just stuck like that. You're the most beautiful woman on the face of the earth, and your face is stuck like that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? No, that's not what that is. Right? Read it again.
God, the wickedness of a woman changeth her face.
Yo, the wickedness of a woman. He put hella ones. Right? The wickedness of a woman changes her face. Read.
God, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth.
Karash, give me Deuteronomy 28:15. I'm gonna show you why. Right? Her face, her countenance changes. Right? Read that second part of that scripture one more time.
Kind. It says, and her, it's like it says, it said, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth.
So that natural glow, right? The Sister Jacqueline said, I glow better with a smile. That natural glow that you have, that natural vibrance that you have, that natural radiation that just flies off your face. Hey, shalom to the brother Kayam Izar. Salaki, if I messed up your name, brother. Hey, Tawada, Yahbashim Yahweh Barakatah, Watawada. We appreciate you, King. All right.
Now, for a feast day.
That's right. You know, because Passover ain't too far. Y'all better start getting ready. It's gonna be lit. Anyway, right? That countenance that you had that just automatically brought a man peace, you don't have that no more. Right? Because of wickedness of a woman. But guess what? How does that happen? What you mean? Like, It changes my face because of this. Read that, Karash.
You said Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
Yes.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Because you decided to do your own thing, because you wanted to be a city girl. Yeah, you was having fun. You thought you was having fun and living your best life, but your countenance changed because that comes with a lot of problems, right? Because you didn't want to listen to the lessons that your father told you when you was a child, because you wanted to be wicked to your husband, because of all of that, your countenance changed. This is why we can see such a beautiful sister face be turned up like that for what? And it makes you, you can be physically attractive, but a man won't deal with you because you're really unattractive spiritually. We can read that. The most beautiful sister can instantly be unattractive as soon as she opens her mouth, man. Right? You had something, Boaz, before we keep going?
Just real quick. It was in verse 20 or verse 21 where it said, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. Like, you can't look at this sister and be like, she look all this and that, because you can see by her spirit what's going on. Like, this is a open, like, teaching point right here, right? Where it's like information could be exchanged. She could talk about her spirituality things, what she know. Adawan can bring information to the table for the people's sake, right? And he represented Israel real well, right? This is information that could have been exchanged, and it's like the whole time for 50 minutes for one video and the 50 minutes for another video, same old stuff with her face.
Yeah.
We're not even gonna get through the whole thing. I'm a definitely skip to the meat and potatoes of the thing. That was Sirach 25 and 17, 21. and then Boaz brought out 25 and 21.
Yeah.
No, you good. Let's see. And the scripture that you talking about, I'm gonna bring that out a little bit later. So, Bruce Roberts, I'm gonna bring that out later. Trust me. Right? Now, let's keep going.
The nations, but with us, it's up and it's stuck. We will kill each other, rob, murder each other, and destroy each other at the drop of a dime. But we have some type of intellectual courtesy for the other nations who have historically destroyed, raped, robbed, and murdered us. That is also a part of why they say we teach hate, is because we openly teach facts about history.
Why do you think that we are so kind to other races and not to our own? Because there is I think as Black people in this country, we can look at certain communities, and we've seen Black on Black crime, but there's white on white crime also. But why are we not nurturing and loving to our own brother? I mean, is it this capitalistic society that we have found ourselves in, that we're all trying to get a piece of this pie that we think we need to have?
Well, speaking of white on white crime, World War I is nicknamed the meat grinder. And that is white people from across the globe killing each other.
Yep.
But we don't accuse them of white on white crime at all, do we? The moniker is known for us. But that's something the Lord...
Why is her face like this? Right? Why is her face... Yo, that's something I never heard of before.
I never heard of that before either, Adawan.
Hey, watch this. Hold on. We gonna find out. We're gonna find out, right? Let's see. Because, see, here's the thing. Before I do any of that, I'm going to actually look it up. I'm not going to do that knowing I ain't never heard that before. You see what I'm saying? Knowing I ain't never heard that before. You see what I'm saying? Hey, Karash, I got to mute you, King. They got some feedback going on.
Is that the beginning of this piece that you got? It looked like there was a start before it.
Nah, this that's just an ad.
Okay.
All right, so boom. Let's see if it was World War I. It might have been another war. It said battle so bloody that men call it the meat grinder. One of history's most savage sieges began with a hell of shots a century ago. left 250,000 dead, yet achieved nothing. On February 21st, 1916, the first shots was battled for the French fortress of town of Verdun. Let's see. Yep. The truth hit home for German soldiers with all impact of one of the million artillery shells buzzing through the air at the Battle of Verdun during World War I. Wow. Wow. When you look stuff up, you learn stuff.
Right.
I never heard of that before.
Yeah.
But I just don't automatically assume just because I never heard it was wrong. Right? But I mean, hey, I got so many scriptures I want to bring out, but I can't. That's why her face looked like that on the thumbnail. And this class ain't to get on her, because that wasn't the point of the reaction video. The point of the reaction video was actually to see, how well our elders are answering these questions when they're afforded the opportunity to bring out the truth to a multitude of people at one time, because there's been a media blackout on Israelites since I came into the truth. When I first came into the truth, I used to hear older elders talk about how on the free cable stations, the local cable stations, where the schools might be able to get on TV, your local elementary school might do something on the television, and it's only the local channels that get it. They used to bring out the truth on them local channels.
Mm-hmm. But
they became a social media blackout. So without knowing that, you don't actually understand how important these opportunities are. So this is the point of this. Amir 2 times, Shalom King, Shalom from the Bahamas, all praises. Right? Now, this is what this is about, but we cannot, this is what we see on the streets.
Right.
Right? This is what we see on the streets. People, and this is not just sisters, this is brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They think they know something. They learn something they never learned before, but because it's not something that they came across in their life, it's asinine. It can't be true. No, do some research, man. The Bible says, "Study to show thyself approved." The Bible actually tells you to be not ignorant of anything, whether it be great or small.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So what we doing? Let's keep going.
He said we would be a byword and a proverb. In other words, we would be given nicknames, and there would be slogans used against us in our captivity. I can produce that. But when it comes,
it's like I think you on mute, Adawan.
Salaki, so she never been called a nigga before? She never been called a jigaboo or a spick? She never heard you want to hide something from a nigga put in a book? But as soon as she said, yo, we'll be giving nicknames on this side of the world, she made another face. Like, for what?
Okay.
I'm not paying attention to her face no more. Let's keep going.
Comes to our people.
Khan King.
Real quick, just not to harp on her, but really just on the point of what you were saying as far as like getting understanding from our elders. Like it teaches us that here in Sirach 8:8, it says, despise not the discourse of the wise, but acquaint thyself with their proverbs, for of them thou shalt learn instruction and how to serve great men with ease. And it says, verse 9, miss not the discourse of the elders, for they also learn of their fathers, and of them thou shalt learn understanding and give answer as need requireth.
And so this is why the first thing he did was shout out Adawan Zabat.
Khan.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole video, like how he's treating the like the answers, the way he's responding and everything. It's like, this is imperative information for us, especially if you trying to teach somebody or be out there teaching the word to somebody. Like, you gotta know how to be able to talk to people, how to deal with a crowd, you know what I'm saying, how to see how things is moving and be able to control the room, but I yield.
Khan King, let's keep it moving.
I have a sensitivity towards our plight because I love my people. I prefer my people. I understand what we've been through historically and the society that we are a part of. It is conducive to you to align yourself with those who oppress you. It is conducive to you to go against your community, which is the minority in power, and align yourself with those who are more powerful to show that community, hey, I'm not one of them.
Shalakia, you on mute, Adawan.
Salakia, that hit me hard. What he said right there hit me hard. There's so many people that align themselves with their enemy just to say, you see them over there, I'm not one of them. Guess what? There's black people who get a corporate job, right? And move into the suburbs that train their children not to be like those niggas over there and have their black children scared of their own people. I've seen it, right? There's people that go out of their way. Stephen A. Smith, Charles Fartley, Shaquille O'Neal. They will go out of the way to say, see, I'm not him. There's people that do that, man. And that's sad, man. That's sad, man. There's no new thing under the sun, man.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going.
I'm different. We have that peer pressure. No other nation.
I noticed that with some of the Latinos in America, that they want to assimilate with white culture and kind of like throw off their Latin or indigenous heritage to assimilate into, you know, I don't want to sound mean, but white culture because they kind of fit the shade a little bit better. And I've noticed that with some Latinos in Texas. I noticed that with a lot of Latino men also. Not so much maybe the women, but you know, they feel it's a little bit better to be associated with the white brothers and sisters because they feel that that's where the better life is at.
And that comes from a lack of understanding of scripture, because these are things that are seldom taught in our churches. This is Proverbs 3:31. It says, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. That's in your Bible. So I understand why our Hispanic brothers are doing that. Black people did that. It was called passing, because they are trying to escape their oppression, not understanding that it is prescribed of God and is a prescription for their sickness, which is not keeping the commandments.
Shay, what's your question?
Here we go.
So just to be clear, this is a religion that we're talking about, right?
Well, the word religion means discipline. This is more of a culture, but it is a religion in the sense that this is what we practice.
Okay. So my question would be, have you guys thought to trace your roots back to the spiritual practice that was practiced prior to the inception of the Bible? Because we all
Give me Deuteronomy 7:6. This is why I wanted to get this.
know that the Bible is something that's relatively new in time. So if Black people were the original people or the first people on earth, they definitely had a spiritual practice. There, you know, are a multitude of spiritual practices that indigenous people practice. How do you guys feel about that? Did you just skip over that? Did you just find yourself going to the Bible because you were indoctrinated by it?
Well, that's a great question.
Yo, you see that she just tried to throw a shot. Do you just stick with the Bible because you was indoctrinated by it?
Indoctrinate, yeah.
That's like me saying, have you ever tried to wear your natural hair, or did you stick with weave because you was like, come on, bro.
God.
And Salaki, I'm not trying to get on the sister like too much, but it's just like I seen what she was trying to say when she was saying it, and it's just like, dog, like, are you listening? I ask this all the time, yo. I ask my rib this: are you listening to answer back, or are you listening to understand?
Right.
Like, which one is it? Right? Like that's crazy, man. Let's see how he answers this question.
A lot of people feel like the Bible is relatively new. If you consider 2500 BC new, that's
yes,
as
4,000 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. And the laws that are inside the Bible are new because we were never taught them. As far as spiritual practice of so-called Black people, there is no land called Black. There's no country called Black. When we talk about the landmass of Africa, those nations They know the difference between themselves, and they have different practices amongst each other. We, as Hebrew Israelites, and those of us that live in the States, we understand the difference between us and what you would call the traditional African, and they know the difference between us and them. When they come to this country, they don't necessarily get together with us. That's not saying that because I pointed that out, I made enemies of them. I'm saying I'm getting together with my own people. The scriptures, however, are also giving this karma like this is a white man's book, and that is something that I need y'all to understand could not be further from the truth.
So let's keep it funky real quick, right? Yo, he answered that ridiculously smooth because I couldn't have done it like that.
Right.
I'm gonna keep it funky with you. She's acting like she does not understand that the dude at 7-Eleven does not say, "Hello, sister, my African Nubian queen." You act like he says that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like he goes out of his way to open doors for her like he does his sisters.
When you want a green card, you do.
That's it.
Right. Kind of like Slaki Adawan, but on the real tip, the only reason why they even nice to our women, because our women is beautiful and they trying to get at you.
That's a fact.
They ain't cool with us. The brothers, they ain't cool. Like, what's going on, my man? How you doing? Like, nah, it ain't like that for real.
Right.
Especially if I'm coming in there and I'm only buying like penny Tootsie Rolls or something. If I ain't spending money buying cigarettes and beer and looking crazy where he could look at me and laugh and make me a laughing stock, I ain't his buddy.
Now watch this, right? He said, I'm not saying this because I make a enemy out of them, right? He could have said a lot. Let's go to the scriptures. All right. Give me Amos chapter 1, and I want verse 9. Because he said it's not like I make and we know these people to be Hamitic, right? It's not like I make an enemy out of them, right? Because he knows who he's talking to. He knows who he's talking to at that particular moment. He's talking to somebody who sees themselves as being African. He could have really just embarrassed her by being like, what? Okay, you're African. Out of the 3,000 lectures of the African language, which one did you speak?
Right.
Okay, you're Nigerian. What tribe did you come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that makes anybody who calls himself African be quiet off the rip, right? But he didn't do that. He answered it very smoothly. Hey, Dwight Williams, Shalom, King, all praise to the Most High King, Shalom, Shalom, right? Shalom, KL Linus, Shalom, Shalom, right? Now, he didn't do it like that. He was very smooth with his answers. And then he even added, not that I make any enemy out of them, but read Amos 1 and 9. Go ahead.
The book of Amos, chapter 1, verse 9. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remembered not the brotherly covenant.
Hey, check this out. Right? Check this out. Hey, Israeli, guess what? I don't even have time to even deal with you today. So guess what I'm about to do? Hit you with the 22. Pew, pew, pew. Watch this. Disappeared. He just got blocked. He wondering what's going on. Now, Tyrus are the Hamitic nations, right? The so-called African nations, right? He could have read this if he wanted to. Think about how you would answer these questions if you were ever brought to your local radio station. Think about how you would answer these questions, right? When they was talking about, when he answered the question where he went to Romans, I think it was 12, where it said, be kindly affectionate one towards the other. It was talking about how they call us a hate group. And he asked, why do they call you that? My dumb behind would have said, because of this. Jacob have I loved and Esau have I hated. Quick, right? But that's not the time for that. How would you answer these questions?
Right.
Right? Now, I'm gonna let it keep going because we're gonna get into this. No, we're not. Let's go to Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Give me that.
I got it.
Boaz.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Stop. Real quick, for the people that are in the chat, right? Did she not say something to the effect of, did you guys ever trace your roots? Tell me in the chat if you heard this. Did you not trace your roots back to the original religious practices or spiritual practices of Africa? Did she not say that? Read that from the top. I'm gonna let the responses come in. Go ahead.
God. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Huh?
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Now I see all the cons and the yeses coming in. So hold on. But why did she say that? She said because the Bible is fairly new and that was the oldest spiritual practice, right? Watch what the Bible says, because you're gonna get this question a lot on the streets or whatever, right? That video is entitled Don Amiche versus Everybody. All right. And then it says dash Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022. You can find that on the channel called KBLA 1580, but you don't even have to go on that on their page because we got it on our page. We got it live and direct with the commentary from my elder in the between time during the commercial breaks while he's giving the interview, and he's kind of giving tips on how to answer these questions. He's kind of explaining how he's doing, why he's doing it the way he's doing it. So I would suggest going on our channel and watching that video. It's the same thumbnail as this video. All right. Now, she said that the Bible is new, fairly new compared to the spiritual practices of Africa, right? Well, watch what the Bible says. I want you to read it from the top and keep going.
God. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people.
Hold on. Because there was people already here when the Most High decided to choose the man Jacob, change his name to Israel, and make a great nation out of him. People was already here. So are we the oldest civilization on earth? No. We were just the one he chose.
All right.
Nan and the boo-boo. That's all that is. Easy. So while you keep saying when have we ever made the claim to be the oldest civilization on earth? The nation, as a nation of people. When have somebody tell me in the chat, when have we ever made the claim to be the nation of Israel ever made a claim to be the oldest civilization on earth?
And why would we go practice a spirituality that's not connecting us to the most high power, who is the ultimate power of all of this, who's like, I chose you. Instead, we're going to be like, you know what? We know you chose you. Yeah. We know you chose us, Yahweh, but we're going to do this spirituality thing and talk about the trees and nature.
Right. That's like me saying that's like me saying because that is older, right? Because it's older, that automatically makes it better. That's like me saying, let me go watch a TV from the 1960s, and then let me go watch a TV now. The TV from the 60s is older. It's just better. You should just watch that one. That doesn't make any sense. That don't have nothing to do with me. Right. I'm from this time, right? That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I was just about to say it, and this brother, bro, this is crazy. This brother read my mind. We are the youngest nation. We are the youngest nation, which is the reason why we are the fewest. Come on. I've never heard any camp speak that we are the eldest. Never.
Right.
Right? Well, let's continue. Let's continue.
I wish so-called white people in the 40s followed the Bible, because they would have never done that to my ancestors.
We're talking with Joel, who is with the Sons of Thunder Israelites. He is kind of, shedding a little light on what it's like to be a Hebrew Israelite. And we're going to have some more questions for you when we come forward. What is it like to preach on the streets? And some people may hear you, and some people may look at you as crazy. I know, and you guys do this on a consistent basis, and I just want to know how hard that is, and what that's like. We're gonna get to that when we come forward. It's KBLA Talk 1580. Mr. Shay Dixon. We're talking with Joel, who is with the Sons of Thunder Israelites, who's kind of shedding a light on the Hebrew Israelites who have been in the news lately. Joel, thank you, and welcome back to the show. I got a couple questions on the phone for you, but I want to ask you one thing. Is there a distinction between the Black Hebrew Israelites and the Hebrew Israelites?
All right, so we consider Black Hebrew Israelite to be a slur. We think that that is a derogatory term because we represent Native Americans and Hispanics. So to call us Black Hebrew Israelites is to misnomer us. And it's also done to say, hey, Hebrew Israelites, but these are the Black Hebrew Israelites. And that's to defame us or to say that there is something negative or a negative connotation about our religion.
So that's an outside group, because I see the ADL has Black Hebrew Israelites on their website, and that's an outside group labeling you something that you're not.
Yeah, that's extremely shocking since they represent they're the Anti-Defamation League, and yet in that title they defame us. Yeah,
okay. One question here. I've seen some of the videos of what I think were Hebrew Israelites. Specifically, I want to say a video I saw not too long ago was in Miami, and they were talking, I guess, were preaching on the streets, and they were trying to preach to women who were in bikinis and, scantily clad and stuff like that. And I think that some of it was a little harsh or abrasive, the language. You give me a weird look, Shay. Is that right or no?
Yeah.
Well,
Joel, I don't know exactly how the Hebrew Israelites get down where you are from, but right here in LA, we got Hebrew Israelites here. So I've seen them not only read the Bible, but like when white people come around, they make the white people read the Bible. They make the white people bow down to them, get on their knees. They call the white people, call the white people the devil. And say very rude and disrespectful things to Black women who are dressed however they want to be dressed, as well as Black women who wear hair extensions, things like that. So do you agree with those sentiments as well, or is your sect different from the ones in other areas?
If you're saying that there's people outside disrespecting people and not teaching them God's laws, I disagree with that. But for me to not have seen it, and based on your characterization of it, I would have to say I'd have to judge.
You haven't seen it? Are you saying you haven't seen this? Brother Polite and Sonetta, when they're in New York doing these teachings, they say that they're Hebrew Israelites. You never seen none of those videos?
Well, Polite and Sonetta are not Hebrew Israelites. They're into the Kemet knowledge, and they kind of sensationalize what we do. One thing that you said that was interesting is you said they make people bow to them. That's impossible unless you're doing it by force.
White people.
So I think people are doing that on their own volition. And that's also a choice because the scriptures are so compelling that they might feel some type of guilt that they want to do such a thing. But I don't think they're making anybody do anything. I don't think Hebrew Israelites anywhere make anyone do anything because you don't even have to stop to listen. But as far as shouting disrespect to the sisters, there would be no reason to disrespect the sisters. But when brothers teach against things like hair extensions, it's not with the purpose to disrespect the sister. It's to teach the sister that her natural beauty is superior to anything she could do to modify herself.
What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? I'm gonna let him finish his statement. And then you can get your precept, Boaz. What is wrong with that? I think she kind of purposely didn't fix her face to look any type of way. You know what I'm saying? Because what's wrong with that? That's common sense. The Most High made you a certain way. Your hair comes out of your head a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
We're telling you that way is beautiful. You don't need that because before you came over here, Miss African Spirituality Sister, you wasn't wearing none of that.
You wasn't wearing none of that. You ain't even had the luxury of a hot comb.
You feel me? So come on. I'm gonna let him finish the statement. You get that precept.
Sometimes our sisters take that as disrespect.
You don't think a woman realized?
I'm gonna let her answer that after the precept. Go ahead. Let me say whatever she's gonna say.
So my precept was in regards to her talking about how calling Esau the devil, because it's in the Bible, right? Right here in John 8:44, it says, "Ye are of your father the devil." And it says, "And the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning." Who was a murderer from the beginning? And we know Esau carried that same spirit. Because even going in when Jacob got the blessing from his father, right? Instead of Esau getting it, what'd he say? He was like, he can't wait till daddy die, because then he gonna get you. That's that same spirit that Cain had on him. Right?
That's right.
And that's why they get called the devil, because to be a devil is to devalue something, just like they devalued people. They devalued nations of people throughout time on numerous occasions. So yeah, they the devil.
That's right. Let's keep going.
You don't think a woman realizes her natural beauty despite how she decides to wear her hair? You don't think she knows that without you telling her?
Come on now, stop. Because there's multiple experiments where you took a white baby doll and a black baby doll, and the child gets to pick one. They pick the white one. When you take the white one from the child and then give the black one, the black baby cried. You want to know why? Because of psychological engineering and programming. Through psychological engineering and programming, we have been taught that black is not beautiful. The nappy hair on the baby doll is not beautiful. The wide lips and the wide nose on the baby doll is not beautiful. So when they become grown women or women, Salakia, when they become grown women, they can't say, yo, I know my hair is beautiful. I just decided to wear my hair that day. That's no, lie, no. Stop it. Stop the cap. All right, that's cap.
Salakia. She's not understanding the word natural beauty. When you have your hair made from Malaysia, that's not your natural beauty.
Ooh.
That's somebody else's natural beauty. That's the thing that kills me. It's like, bro, you not thinking about that? Like, dog, you appreciate your natural beauty, but you rather wear somebody else's natural beauty right now.
Right. And call it your own. No.
Come on, yo. Come on. Stop it. Stop the cat.
I think there are sisters that actually believe that they are unattractive and that there's something wrong with their appearance. Not only that, I know and have testimony of sisters coming and confessing that to us, that they don't feel beautiful and that they are ashamed of their melanin, and not only that, of their own hair texture. And we have classes to rebuild their self-esteem, because there's totally nothing wrong with you. You are beautiful and made perfect. Your hair of wool is the same as that of Christ, and the melanin in your skin is the same as those of the prophets in the Bible, and I can produce that.
Why she make a face to that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, I don't know, bro. Like, you feel me? Like, bro, I don't understand, because it's like, dog, there's certain dudes they want to keep up with the status quo. Their wife is more of a trophy they can show off to their homeboys. So in order for her to come around the homeboys, they have to look like this or have to look like that. You see what I'm saying? But check this out, right? Check this out. I ain't never seen my rib in no damn lace front ever, or weave, or sewing. What's it called? A sew-in. Never, ever, never, and I never wanted to. Because right, that don't make sense. My mother has never wore sew in her life. Never. And I've never wanted her to put one on, because it didn't make sense. You feel what I'm saying? Come on, man. Go ahead, King. You had something?
I had one.
All right, let's keep going.
We have a question from. Let's go to Fahima for you.
Uh-oh.
Hi, Fahima.
Yes, greetings, everyone. I wanted to, and my comment kind of has something to do with the question that your last young lady had mentioned. I wanted to ask your view, because there are a number of different Hebrew Israelite groups across the country. And yes, Polite is not a Hebrew Israelite. He is into this Kemet, Imam Esau stuff. But the group that was in support of Kyrie Aaron. They're from the Bronx, and I think their leader is a Rabbi Nathan. But I'm from New York City, and there's a group that were in.
When did Bishop Nathaniel ever call himself Rabbi? But okay, go ahead.
Harlem, and they often would have a picture of a white Jesus, and they would compel people to step on the picture of the white Jesus. And oftentimes, and you were polite in making distinctions between Africans from the continent, but they actually called Africans savages. And this was the practices of some of the shenanigans that the group in Harlem did. But there's two groups I want to ask you about. Ben Amin has a group in Medina that are in Israel, and the actual Ethiopian Jews, some of them were airlifted to Israel, and some of them are still in Ethiopia. What is your view of the Ethiopian Jews and the group that Ben Amin has in Israel? And you could comment on some of the brothers around the country who are a little rough around the edges.
Salakia.
Hey, bro, I was about to say, yeah, she tried it. Go ahead.
She did. She tried that real good, didn't she? Like, she had to throw that in the end. In the end, she had to throw that in there like that. Like, I want you to, like, basically, I want you to throw a slight at brothers.
Exactly. She tried that.
Right? But on the note, real quick, Adawan, anybody in the chat, because she mentioned there's a sign of a white Jesus, and they would have people stepping on that. Put in the chat who that is an image of.
Somebody did it already. As soon as she said something about it.
Okay. 904 CB Mike. Right. So that's why it gets stepped on, because it's a representation of the false Messiah. Kind of like stops to the devil. That's right.
That's right. And she said it like she was offended. You know what I'm saying?
Kind.
She said it like she was offended that they're stepping on a white person. Right?
Mad. Like, somebody said Willie Nelson.
Right? Come on, man. Let's keep going, man.
God.
Well, I want to commend my brother for putting down drugs and alcohol and becoming pillars of your community. You were left with rappers and sports and actors as your civil rights leaders, and you chose to get up and become a civil rights leader in your own right. I want to commend those brothers.
Tried it, didn't work. You see how he did that? I want to commend them brothers, man. Yeah, you tried it. You tried it, sis. You tried. That was the devil trying to bring division amongst the brothers.
Kind.
You know what I'm saying? We got to call it what it is. Now, that might not have been what was on her mind. Maybe not. Hopefully not. Kind of think that's what it was, really. Like, or maybe, because if she would have listened to what Adawan y'all all said earlier, she wouldn't have asked that question. What did he say earlier? He said earlier that there's a lot of people who conform to the ways of their oppressor and say, look, I'm not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell make you think we was about to do that?
Right.
Right? That don't make sense. Right? So first of all, he cut that off. I want to commend them brothers. All praises for that. Let's keep going.
Around the globe. To the Ethiopian Jews, that is a misnomer, because if you are a Jew, you cannot be of the nation of Ethiopian. If you're saying they are the children of Jacob that live in the land Ethiopia, then I would say they should keep God's laws. If you're talking about the community that is in Israel right now, those people are mistreated out there. They are totally disrespected, living next to nuclear waste out there, and they are not regarded as the people of the book out there, but yet they do continue to serve the Lord and keep the commandments in their own right. So I want to send peace and safety to them. What do I mean when I say you cannot be Ethiopian and a Jew? To be a Jew, if we're talking about biblically speaking, is to be a descendant of Jacob from the southern kingdom of Israel, which is called Judah. The name Jew means thank Yahweh or thank Yahweh, as y'all might say. That's what the name means. It is a specific nationality of people. The Bible categorizes Ethiopians as Cushites, which is another nationality of people. So you cannot be an Ethiopian Jew biblically, but you can be a Jew that lives in Ethiopia. I wanted to clear that up.
So I
have a follow-up?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I knew the late Dr. Ben Yakimin, who was a Falashian, an Ethiopian Jew, and he, as others, they didn't discover their identity, but they have for centuries followed the traditions, the customs, and the cultures and the mores. So you're saying you discovered your identity here in the belly of the beast. But these people for centuries who have the Ark of the Covenant in Ethiopia, and they've been practicing.
What? Yo, listen. That blew my bro. Listen, I was in the kitchen when she said that. I'm like, yo, what? These people be unknowledgeable, and no slight to the sister, because we all have had moments where we're unknowledgeable. But it's wise to shut your mouth when you don't know the answer to something. You don't throw things around and just hope it stick. I'm gonna let him answer, but I'm gonna give the precept, because don't let nobody ever tell you, because they hold these Ethiopian Jews to a high regard. They almost up there with Amalek, like, yo, hey, okay, they not the Jews, but you still ain't the Jew, because these Ethiopians, they've been practicing that. They got the Ark of the Covenant. Like, yo, come on, just stop. I'm gonna let them answer it, but we gonna get the precept.
The traditions and cultures for centuries, and they're not of the tribe of Judah.
Yes, to be of the tribe of Judah is to be a descendant of Jacob. To be an Ethiopian is to be a descendant of Cush. This is two completely different bloodlines. Also, to clear up something you said, you said that they have the Ark of the Covenant. The Bible teaches opposite of that and says that Jeremiah the prophet hid the Ark of the Covenant, and it will not be discovered until the time of the end. This is what I'm talking about. A lot of what we believe about being a Jew is tradition, and it is not based on the scriptures that the ethnic Jews left behind of who they are and what they believe. And Hebrew Israelites have made it their mission to go out into the street and actually educate you on what the scriptures actually say, so no man can deceive you. The scriptures say, be not deceived. Scriptures say, seek ye out of the book of the law.
And I'm just realizing what the sister's doing. They've been typing, making all this noise the whole daggone time they've been talking. Look at her face. Look at her face. She don't show something. Well, let's run it back. Hold
on what the scriptures actually say, so no man can deceive you. The scriptures say, be not deceived. Scriptures say,
she's just been listening. She probably don't know too much, and she hasn't said too much.
Yeah,
she thinks she got something.
Out of the book.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say she only had one question in the beginning, and ever since then she just been listening.
That's facts.
Of the law, none of these shall fail. So when you make statements like that, like they have the Ark of the Covenant, to go into the scriptures, you would see that the only people that could touch the Ark of the Covenant are the Levites. Anyone else who touches it would be put to death.
Let's find out. Did Jeremiah hide the Ark of the Covenant? Karash, give me 2 Maccabees 2. Let's start at verse 4. You're muted, King. Well, I know you flipping pages right now. I just want to let you know.
Yeah, 2 Maccabees 2 and 4.
Con King. We're gonna read down through
verse 8
or
verse 7, Salakia.
Yeah. Let's read through verse 7. That's better. Go ahead, read, King.
Okay, come. The book is 2 Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 4. Right one. Says 2 Maccabees 2 and 4.
Con.
Okay. It was also contained in the same writing that the prophet, being warned of God, commanded the tabernacle and the ark to go with him as he went forth into the mountain where Moses climbed up and saw the heritage of God.
Mm-hmm.
And when Jeremy came thither, he found an hollow cave.
This is Jeremiah, right? You see in the Apocrypha, they'll change names just a slight bit. But Jeremy is Jeremiah. Keep going.
Wherein he laid the tabernacle and the ark and the altar of incense, and so stopped the door.
So Jeremiah went into a hollow cave and he laid the tabernacle, the ark of the covenant, and the altar of incense, and then he stopped the door, meaning he closed the door, he sealed it. Keep going.
And some of those that followed him came to mark the way, but they could not find it.
So if people tried to find it, they tried to mark the way that led to the Ark of the Covenant. They couldn't find it.
Mm-hmm.
Read.
Which when Jeremy perceived, Jeremiah had blamed them, saying, As for that place, it shall be unknown until time that God gather his people again together and receive them unto mercy.
Right? So until the time gather his people again, the Ark of the Covenant is not going to be found.
Right.
Let's say the Holy Scriptures. Right? So that's just asinine in itself. Let's keep going. We're going to get a little bit more on this, and we probably going to shut it down. We just wanted to, we probably going to get into a little bit of the back and forth and keep it at that. Keep going. Matter of fact, we're not even going to waste time on that because the brother Don, a few minutes later, he cut her off. And then the sister with all the facial expressions started getting in. We're going to skip over a little bit.
Watch that movie, Joel, Hebrews to Negroes. And if you did, was that accurate? I tried to get through 10 minutes of it. It was very hard to watch.
Us, we are not used to submitting to leadership from our own. So we take it personal. When we
Look
play
at the
sports,
face, yo.
you do a
Look at the face. Let's see what happens.
translation. You don't want to translate into slang. You want to translate into exactly how the language is supposed to be spoken.
And you have to understand the context of the time period, right? Of how the language was being spoken to really understand the meaning behind the words, because meanings of words change over time.
That's right. So you don't want to translate into colloquialism. You want to translate into the exact sense of what the prior language is saying. And we find that in this translation.
Let's get to... I asked one quick question before when I saw a video years ago of brothers talking to sisters in Miami. One thing I know about some of the Hebrew Israelites that I've seen is that their tone is a little rough.
Disrespectful. Mm-hmm.
Some will say disrespectful, but a little bit rough. Is that normal for all of them, or are you just trying to be as raw with the message as possible, or trying to speak with people? Because it seems like you would catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
You're right. And
you go to the army and they yell at you repeatedly, call you maggot, all sorts of. You go into you pledge a Greek letter fraternity where they call themselves tearing you down to build you back up.
Right.
You get hazed the whole 9 yards. Brothers play football. Right? Like, what are we saying? But until it comes with instruction, Now it's disrespectful. Do you see the mindset of our people? Do you see the mindset of our people, yo? This is the mindset of our people, right? You can pledge a Greek letter fraternity where they whoop your ass. Salakia.
Haze you.
Do the whole 9. They tear you down to build you up, right? We get in gangs. Sisters are the most, bro, sisters' mouthpiece towards each other are crazy in the world.
Right.
Right? But when a brother is telling you, yo, sis, take that weave out your hair. You don't need that in your head. Like, your natural hair is beautiful. Oh, that's disrespectful. How? Now your boss tells you your hair is inappropriate and you go get it relaxed and you don't tell him that that's disrespectful.
Right.
But a brother tells you your hair is appropriate because that's how God gave it to you. That's disrespectful. Right?
Salaki.
Go ahead, King.
It's our people are destroyed of lack of knowledge, man.
Facts.
Bring that out. Hosea 4:6. Bring it out.
Mm-hmm.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. So yeah, that's why they can't listen to any knowledge that's brought out, and it seems foreign to them. Because one, our people don't have any discipline. That's one thing that we lack, and it's tearing us up. I mean, you can see that how her, her facial expressions. She probably nobody told her anything, and you can't tell her anything. She's gonna buck up to you. She's gonna have something to say. You're not my daddy. Who you talking to?
Oh, brother, I'm glad you said that. Because at the end, before we shut this down, I'm going to show you that. Right?
What you talking about?
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you.
What Yawasop said?
Nah, I'm going to show you from what she said.
Hey, he made a good point, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yawasop said, if we disrespectful, she bet not listen to Nam rap song on the radio. Yeah, and that's real.
Facts. Let's keep it going. We got to shut it down in a minute, but let's keep it going, man. Hey, man, if you're enjoying the dialogue, if you're enjoying the recap of what's going on of the interview, put a 7 in the chat. Put the 7 in the chat. You know what I'm saying? And help us out with a like so we can catch the algorithm. Baba Kashar, we appreciate the support, man. We appreciate the support.
The Bible says, let your words be seasoned with salt and speak with grace. However, there will be times where brothers have to take an authoritative tone, but we're not used to accepting authority from people that look like us.
I'm going to stop it right there. I'm going to spoil it now because there's a reason why she feels this way. There's a reason why she feels this way, and I got to find it. Boaz, talk for a second. I'm going to find it.
Hey, man, like a brother was saying beforehand, when it comes to a lot of stuff as far as like the hair, even in the dress, you'd be like, sis, you a daughter of Zion, you need not to be dressing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you better than that, right? Brother, you a king in the earth. You need not to be walking down with your pants hanging down to your knees, right? You better than that. You know what I'm saying? We God's chosen people, man. We gotta operate in that format for real.
That's right. Karash, you got anything before I get into it?
Yeah, he's right, man. It seems like, when you see the Kemet brothers, when they be like, hey, queen, you the God, you the woman's a God, they like that.
They love
that.
To
hear those things. They like to hear it because, they're not really sincere.
Earth, baby.
Yeah, they're not really sincere about that. They're just trying to get into your pants. You know what I'm saying? But we really sincere with calling you the queen of Zion. You got to straighten up your act, and walk like, like you're supposed to be walking. But it comes off as as negativity towards them. I don't understand. Or, you know, even with our brothers, like you say, you got to pull your pants up, and they look at you like, who are you?
Right.
Right.
And then they get condemned by, you know, the police just for walking like that. You already profiled. You know, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? But
that's a fact. Now watch this. Let's I'm gonna run this back just a tad bit, and I'm gonna show you why she feels how she feels. Watch.
With people, because it seems like you would catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
You're right. And the Bible says, let your words be seasoned with salt and speak with grace. However, there will be times where brothers have to take an authoritative tone, but we're not.
Look at her face. Watch this. This is why she feels the way she feels. Now, they just listened to, this is right before I don't want y'all were all came on. They was listening to a thing where a man had 2 wives. They just didn't know about each other. You know what I'm saying? One was married to him for 25 years. One was married to him for 10 years. And one suspected that the husband was cheating. Right. I like how you said that. We ain't trying to catch no damn flies, man. But anyway, we trying to catch sheep and lions out here. Right? But one was with him for 25 years. One was with him for 10 years. They thought they was both married to him. And he had children with both of them. One suspected him cheating. She followed him around and found him at this lady's house. And they both like, hold up. That's my husband. No, that's my husband. No, that's my husband. So they're listening to that right here. What I'm about to show you, and watch what her comments is to this right here. Right? Watch this. Salaki, wrong one. Here you go, right here.
Daddy is Donovan.
Oh boy,
that's messy.
I don't care what y'all.
You say messy, I say fam. I see families coming together.
No,
here.
first of all,
yeah, me too. Families coming together now. Slocking. You ain't supposed to do it like that, brothers. All right, before because sisters, I see here, sisters. This is why we don't like polygyny, because y'all be relax. I was playing. All right, Salaki, right? But this is why she feels the way she feels. Watch this.
Donna Meach, I want to say that marriage is very much a thing of the 50s, 60s.
Whoa,
really? I don't ever plan on getting married.
And marriage is a thing of the 50s and the 60s, and she don't plan on getting married.
So we are.
Oh, I got a scripture in the apocrypha for you. Let's go. I'm gonna let her keep going.
A lot of young women who also don't have the desire.
Get the scripture.
That's okay.
Why don't you want to get married?
Because I prefer to not get married. And just
no, I mean, you like your own space.
I like my space. Absolutely. Love having my bed to myself. Love being an individual and not having someone think that I am their property.
Well, you know, Krista sleeps in.
Ooh. Hey, hold on. We got to get a precept.
I got multiple ones to drop.
All right, hold on. Let me get Sirach 36:24. Give me that first.
Sirach 36 and 24.
Because guess what? I'm gonna let you see my face when I say this. I tell my rib this all the time. You mine. You mine. You mine. You belong to me. But watch this though. Right. Any real woman in the chat, when a man says you belong to me, that makes them feel good. Because guess what? Because you belong to me, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to kill for you. I'm going to do the whole 9 yards. But you belong to me. That little boy that's running around back there, that's mine. You belong to me. I say it all the time. She be rolling her eyes like, nah, you mine. You ain't going nowhere. But in 2022, that's like I'm talking about you like you a load of bricks or something. Like, no, Salaki, go ahead, bring that up.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 36 and verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest.
Hold on, wait. You said, read it again.
Okay. He says, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest.
Let's see what she said again. Hold on. Hold on.
Really? I don't ever plan on getting married. And
You
there are a
don't?
lot of young women who also don't have the desire to get married, and that's okay.
Why don't you want to get married?
Because I'd prefer to not get married and just
No, I
have
mean you like your own
friends.
space.
I like my space, absolutely. Love having my bed to myself. Love being an individual and not having someone think that I am their property.
Read it one more time.
God. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
Words are important. Go ahead.
A help like unto himself and a pillar of rest.
Karash, unmute my brother.
Okay.
Read this definition on the screen if you don't mind, my good brethren.
Possession. The state of having, owning, or controlling something.
Ooh, I don't know now. Sisters might not like that. Read it again.
The state of having, owning, or controlling something.
Read it one more time. Read it loud.
The state of having, owning, or controlling something. But Salakia, but when sisters say that they don't want to get married, they would, they want to be in their own space, but they forget they're going to get older. And who's going to take care of you? Even if you don't have any children, who's going to take care of you? It's a thing called home care, where you have to have when you get older, and it costs a lot of money to take care of your old butt. So, you get all these problems, and you got to get these nurses to come and help you. And if you don't got no spouse, you don't have no spouse to take care of you, who's going to do that? Who's going to take you to your medical offices? Visits. So women, this that new age right now where I don't need nobody, but they don't look too far in the future, man.
Hey, watch this. Read number 2.
Read the next verse.
Yes. No. Read the second definition, and you want the next verse, Boaz?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna let you read the next verse, but Karash, read the next definition. Go ahead.
An item of property, something belonging to one.
Read it one more time.
An item of property, something belonging to one.
One more time.
An item of property, something belonging to one.
Because I'd prefer to not get married and just
I mean you like your own space.
I like my space, absolutely. Love having my bed to myself. Love being an individual and not having someone think that I am their property.
Well, according to the Bible, sis, I feel the Holy Spirit. No, I'm playing. Go ahead, Boaz.
God, verse 25. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled.
What is a hedge, brother? What is a hedge supposed to do? Protect.
Right.
That's why it says we are a nation that is robbed and spoiled. Why were we a nation that was robbed and spoiled? Somebody put that in the chat. A hedge is supposed to protect, but Israel has been a nation that has been robbed and spoiled. Somebody tell me why the nation was robbed and spoiled. Y'all got it. Y'all talked. Y'all. I answered it for y'all. Salaki, my bad. Right. Boaz did it once. I did it second. My bad.
Salaki,
it's good. You good.
Started something, man. I messed up now.
If the hedge is supposed to protect, and we are a nation that is robbed and spoiled, why are we robbed and spoiled? What happened? Somebody put it in the chat. Somebody got to know. What happened? We read it earlier. What happened? Oh, nah. I've been. Oh, the sister Jacqueline, but she got Twitter fingers. She fast with it. We have not been protected, but raped, robbed, and murdered.
That's right.
We got away from our head, which is the Most High. Bingo! No hedge. Stop following the commandments. We don't have Yahweh shot, man. Hedge is a border, usually at the edge of a property line. What is that? But the borders, right? Judah mourneth, the gates thereof languish. no leadership. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't keep up our end of the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This boy back in the background going crazy. Right? There's no hedge, man. There's no protection. There's no leadership, man. Right? And sisters, you need a husband. Sorry. Because back in the days, bro, it used to be you left your father's house and went to your husband's house. The same characteristics that your father had towards you outside of sex, your husband now brings to the table. Your father was your protector. Your father was your provider. Right? Now your husband is your protector. Your husband is the provider. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Brothers used to get rest from their mothers, that nurturing spirit. Now you're that nurturing spirit for your husband. You see how brilliant God is? Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going.
Well, you know, Kristen
Really?
sleeps in separate bedrooms.
17 years.
Really?
Yes.
17
Wow.
years.
You
And
see,
we're not
that's how I
married.
We're going to let her talk for the rest of this.
have to be in a
Yeah.
relationship.
So
I want
you would
my
need-
own
you would
room.
need
I need
your-
my own bathroom
See?
as well, my own
Mhm.
closet. Yes, absolutely.
We
Are
have
you an
that.
only
Or we
child?
can't live together.
Yeah.
Are you an
No,
only
actually,
child?
I'm not.
No?
There are 5 of us, but I'm the second oldest, but the first oldest girl. So I pretty much raised my 3 younger siblings.
Hands.
Aww.
And, you know, and you know, they say, what do you guys just hold hands and sit on the bed? That's don't want to feel restricted in the free. For me,
Wow.
I don't want to be distant.
This guy.
I mean, really, it's up to those women
Yeah.
because polyamory is definitely gaining popularity.
It is. I've seen a lot
Now we see.
of women on TikTok that are saying, you know, monogamy just doesn't work for me.
Wow.
I don't want to be attached to someone. I want my guy, but like,
Salaki, because he's not talking about himself. He's talking about what women are saying. Women are saying, you know, I want my guy, but I'm going to let him finish. But he's not talking about himself, all right? He's a heterosexual man, because that threw me off too.
I don't want to feel restricted in the freedom of who I can spend my life with, you know, and if I want to go experience someone else, then that's what I want to do. And I think maybe in some cases that might keep the relationship and the bond that you have to your main person healthier if you can escape for a little bit, go see what else is out there, and then you might like, you know what, not for me, or you know what, this is cool.
Are you going to do that in your relationship?
Oh no, I would never do that. I'm
No,
a
he could
traditional.
never do that.
I'm a one woman man.
Yeah, that sounds like a lifetime of unbalanced pH.
Yeah.
Unbalanced
Yeah,
pH.
that ain't.
So you just like your freedom too much.
I'm just like, I'm cool. Like, I don't know what a man can offer me that I can't offer
Love?
myself.
You can't make this stuff up, dog. You can't make this stuff up. Somebody kicked in my door right now. They gonna have to go to all out war. Cause I got a wife and a son in here.
That's right.
They gotta go to all out war. Cause I'm gonna go crazy. You can't offer that to yourself. A lot of men are sitting there thinking like, how can I make it to where my wife don't gotta work for these damn Edomites no more? Like, you can't offer that to yourself, sis. You got to go do it. Or work for yourself, but you know. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
But in 2022, a sister don't know what a man can offer her. That's crazy.
Right.
And I'm going to say this. A lot of people will try to make it as a slight on you, brother. They'll try to make it as a slight on you. Right? You might not even be that type of man. Right? That has caused a woman to psychologically go into that place.
Right.
We are in the age. If you listen to the show of that day, that particular day, November 29th, you will hear how she talked about Sukiyana and said Sukiyana is not the voice of women and this, that, and the third. But guess what? Sukiyana teaches the same thing you teach outside of the prostitution.
Right.
Sukiyana teaches prostitution pretty much. You might not teach that, but guess what? You teaching the same thing outside of that she's teaching. You know what I'm saying? Right? Because guess what? They have taught a doctrine of sexually liberated young women.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no such thing as a hoe no more.
Right.
There's no such thing as a harlot no more. No such thing as that.
No, it is.
Now watch this. Watch what she do. Watch what she do. Watch this. Watch.
Affection.
Yes, he can love me and show me affection as well. I love myself.
Something below
too.
his belt.
I mean, I could take that when I want it, but go home when I tell you to go home.
See? Now watch this.
Okay.
In 2022, men ain't going for that. Unless they just want to, ride you down and keep it moving. Right? But when they get past that part of their life, that's not going to work for them. And guess what you're going to end up doing? Sirach 26 and 12. Bring that out real quick.
Let's get it. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 12. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler. When he have found a fountain and drink of every water near her, by every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow.
What am I saying? Am I saying this sister going to be hopping from rod to rod over and over and over? No, she might be the sister she might do something once every 8 months. But when that brother get tired of that, you got to find you somebody else. Because you don't want that husband to cover your needs. That's what's going to end up happening. So when we go into a generation of women who don't want to get married, but they still want to have sex, what happens? Put that in the chat for me, excuse me. Put that in the chat for me, if y'all don't mind. What happens if we enter a generation of women who do not want to be married, but still have sexual desires? What happens? Real gang, I don't know what you talking about, but we don't care what you got to say. At all. So you can keep going. We don't even matter. Now watch these different. I didn't even think about all these different things. They doing it. Single parents, family breaking down, diseases, fatherless children, single mothers, whoredom. Y'all on it tonight, man. Y'all on it tonight, man. Ooh, what? Oh, they going in.
They going in.
They going in. Watch this. Watch this. Real gang. You can't even see us no more. You know why? Boop, you blocked. Watch this. No fathers in the house. Straight whores. LGBTQing. That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough.
That's tough.
That's tough.
It's tough.
Hey, the same thing that is happening now.
Exactly.
Adultery. That's tough. That's tough. Right. I know real gang like Stevie Wonder, like, where they at? What happened? No family. No community. Everybody was mad at Kevin Samuels. Everybody was upset at that man.
Mm-hmm.
But when you listen to all of his content, not just the content that they blew up, where he was rating women and all that, let me tell you something. Outside of him rating these women and telling her she was a 6 and a 4 on a good day and all that, he was talking about, a lot of what he was saying was, Joey the sniper, watch this. You just got sniped. Pew! Right? He was always talking about, how can you sustain the black family? Right? Here go other answers. Rebelling against Yahweh's plan for a family.
Mm-hmm.
Romans 1, what verse you want? I'm going to bring it out. Look at this, sister. Abortion. Yep. Watch this. Confusion of faces. That's kind of deep.
Lucky.
Oh, I know what you want.
Go ahead.
How these women don't know who the father is, and they seem like they sympathize with these women when they don't know who the father is. You know, they don't. It's not a shame no more. Like, I don't know who the dad is.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Then they get the brother on child support, and he's not even a father.
And we're gonna bring this up. We're gonna bring this out too. Get your precept, Boaz.
I think he want this in Romans 1:26.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna read from verse 25. It says, "Who changed the truth of God into a lie, and
There you go.
worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature."
Now watch this. The sister said imprison fathers. And I was for a split second, I said, why is she saying that?
Makes
Because
sense.
you're gonna start dealing with the wrong brother, because it don't matter who you're dealing with, you just want him for his rod and send him home.
Right.
When you get pregnant, that dude that you use for your rod, for his rod to send home, impregnated you, and he's not even a stand-up dude. That's tough. Emotional, not logically thinking. That's what happens. No discipline, man. I'm gonna let her keep going.
Wow. Wow. This
love
is
it,
when did you come to this
really.
realization though? And do you
Wait. What did the elder sister say?
something below his belt?
I mean, I could take that when I want it, but go home when I tell you to go home.
Wow. This
love
is
it.
when did
You too daggone old to be talking about I love it, KY Jelly. Never mind.
you come to this realization though? And do you know more women like you that are dealing with
Of course, I know more women like me. My friends, we think the same. We're independent women, successful women, and you know, we're not into the old Southern mind.
Brothers, did you hear what the sister just said?
She disrespected the South.
She did. Like, she's wild.
Like, for real?
It's all good, but listen to what she said.
Independent women.
Hold on.
Wow. This
love
is
it,
when did you come to this
really.
realization
Listen.
though? And do you know more women like you that are dealing with
Of course, I know more women like me. My friends, we think the same. We're independent women.
Birds of a feather
Flock
together. My rib don't got no friends. I met her friends when we first started dating and all that. Her friends was cool. Like, it ain't nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, I was always invited wherever she went, so it wasn't never nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? But watch this.
I got a precept.
I got you. Watch this though, right? If I would have met her friends with some ratchets, they would have been her friends no more. Or guess what? We wouldn't have been together. Me and my friend, go ahead, King. I'm Boaz, you can talk after he finished.
I got a book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 15. It said, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him.
Expound that, King.
They don't want correction. She's acting like a child. She want, pretty much she doesn't want responsibility or accountability. That's a better word.
Right. And you got a gang of people. You got a group who you roll with who have the same type of mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there ain't nobody that's going to hold you accountable for your actions.
And that's why they don't want to be married.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want to be held accountable for their actions.
That's right. I want to bring out that precept that the brother Banyamyan posted in the chat in 1 Timothy 5:6. It says, "But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth."
That's right.
That's why she over here looking like that throughout the whole interview show, making all them faces, because in her mind, her wisdom is dead. And not to downplay the sister, because I'm sure she's an intelligent sister. You know what I'm saying? She's where she's at today. But when it comes to having knowledge in this, like in the word, like you don't have that. You think this spirituality that you really can't even track it, don't really have full information of, like that's where it's at. The knowledge that you got with you and your friends and how y'all think the same, and the concept that you got, you don't want to get married. That's some 40s and 50s type stuff. Or it's people of the South. Like, hold up, there's people up north who was getting married. I got family who was like they came from the South to come north to be in a different position and get married and have families.
Right. Listen, yo, my entire family at one point lived in New York. Now they started to move back down south, right? My grandparents on my dad's side was from down south and moved to New York. Had my father. My grandparents on my mother's side was from West Virginia. Moved to New York and had my mother.
Mm.
But it was, hey, they were married till one of them died.
Right.
And when one of them died, the other one was straight. So, I was about to say, when your husband died, you don't want to get married. When are you gonna be? Come on, man. Right? Let's keep going, man. Hope y'all enjoying the class, man. We just trying to. We gotta think about the mindset of our people, man. We gotta renew our mind, man.
All right.
Right?
Successful women, and we're not into the old Southern mindset of total submission to a man, and
do you feel that there's something wrong with being submissive to a man?
No.
Okay.
But I think there's something wrong
Super
with being submissive to the standards of like the 50s and 60s.
I get that. I get that.
Old school submission is no longer. I don't think that's the real thing anymore. But
it isn't.
Why?
Yeah.
Hey, sisters, y'all don't want to do the old school submission, but y'all have no problem. You do not stop your man from saying, don't pay half all the rent. Let me pay half. Y'all don't do that. As far as I can remember, I'm sure y'all brothers knew y'all grandparents at one point. Your granddaddy did that. That was old school, wasn't it? Granddaddy paid the whole rent.
Matter of fact, like let's keep it a buck. Women to be out here making money doing whatever, but they be like, you need to be the one paying the bills and sending me to get my nails done, doing all this stuff. But you ain't trying to submit. You want him to take care of you in these aspects, but when it comes to old school submission, you ain't trying to do that. Your level of submission ends where? What? The bedroom?
Right.
Like, what's up?
Right.
I don't know what old school submission is. Is it cooking? I don't know. What's old school submission? I mean,
God,
it used to be an honorable thing to get married and have children, but now it's like. But are we the only nation that thinks this way though? Because I don't hear white women or Asian women saying the same thing. They don't think they don't. They get successful and still want to get married and and still be.
Watch this, y'all. I heard something today on YouTube. I was, you got the YouTube shorts I'm scrolling through. There was this white woman. She said, "I am a Forbes lister. I am listed on Forbes as one of the richest people, in the country." She said, "But that's not what got me my man or kept my man." She said, "My looks is what helped get me my man, but that's not what kept me my man." She said, "You know what kept my man? Me being so weird and organizing things and making sure everything was straight around the house. That kept my man. Me always making sure everything was tidy and clean and cooking. That's what kept my man." She said, "Because looks fade." This is a rich 20-something-year-old rich white woman that said that.
Wow.
But leave it to a black woman don't got a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of.
And you got this going on, and you saying you don't want to get married. Submission is a 40s and 50s old thing.
But the white women know that. The white women know this, and guess what? The white women know this, and they keep their husbands. Y'all, let me shut up. Let's keep going.
You gotta think about
some women still do that, but I think some men have abused that. If a woman's going to submit to you, I think there's a tremendous amount of power that she's placing in your hands as a man, and that you must guard that with your life and take care of that. Because if you don't, you know what I'm saying, you're just trampling on her inherent will to be submissive towards you, and giving this femininity towards you and allowing you to be the man. And if you don't protect that, that's a horrible thing. And then it messes it up for other women out there, because it's like, I tried, it didn't work.
Right. You end up shaping her into a woman like me. I did all that, dropped out of school, moved to another country with the man, was completely submissive, put his dreams before my own. And it just didn't work. So in my early 20s, really, I came to the conclusion that I was never going to put my whole life in a man's hands anymore. I wanted to make my own money. I wanted to be independent. I never wanted to give a man the opportunity to say, well, if you're not going to do this, then let me close this bank account. Let me take this car away.
What country did you move to?
I moved.
I don't care about all that. Now, now, brothers.
I got a classic scripture for something she said.
I'm gonna let you get that in just a second. Now we got to keep it funky, man. You got to be responsible with these sisters now.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be responsible for these sisters, man. Right? You got to be responsible, because guess what? Any logical person will be like, because she's not in the truth. You feel me? She's not in the truth, so she don't have the mindset. And I say this all the time. There's no prerequisite for a woman or for a man to have to complete for a woman to do what God told her. But she's not in the truth. A lot of y'all sisters stop doing what God told you to do because your man ain't at the 100% right in your eyes or whatever it may be. And you know the laws of God.
Mm-hmm.
You in the truth. You know the end game. She won't end the truth. So in her mind, hey, I'm getting cheated on over and over and over again. I'm leaving. All of us did it. All of us did it. You see what I'm saying? Brothers got to be responsible. I'm going to get a precept after you. Go ahead, King.
Just a quick classic. And Sirach 6 and 7, it says, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first. You know, if she had the wisdom and knowledge in this in her early 20s, as far as that relationship that she got into that, you know, affected her in such a way, she more than likely would have made a better decision. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she would have scoped it out or analyzed it more. You know what I'm saying? Took time before getting into that relationship with the person. Really found out if that was the person she was going to be with, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a big issue we got today. And not just women, but men too. We all have that same issue. We ain't going into this thing the right way. We ain't taking the time that we supposed to, with you asking certain deep questions like, you know what I'm saying, like family questions, like how many kids you want to have, what type of learning system you want to do with these kids that we gonna have. You know what I'm saying? We gonna send them to public school, a charter school, or we gonna do homeschool with them. Like, this is real deep stuff that you got to go into with this person who you gonna be dealing with, because you don't want to be in something and then find out y'all got different views on this, and y'all over here trying to teach a child two totally different things. That ain't gonna work.
That's right.
Y'all gonna be at it with each other all the time.
That's right. Now, hey, give me Matthew 18 and 6. All right. Because guess what, man? Hey, I'm talking about brothers that are in the truth with sisters that are coming into the truth. Brothers that are teaching, you know what I'm saying? They know the right way. Like, when you're in the world, you don't know no better, whatever. But this is for brothers that are in the truth, bringing sisters into the truth. Watch this. Go ahead. You got to unmute, King. This brother reading. Can't even hear him.
The book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 6. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea.
Hey, man. It's better that you put a millstone on your neck, throw yourself in the sea, man. All right? You can't do certain things as an Israelite man. You got to take it on the chin. We can't be in our feelings and our emotions like the sisters, man. Some of the sisters, not all of them. Oh, you not gonna do what I told you to do? I'm not gonna feed you. Like, no. Like, in the world, we wasn't taught to do that. Your big uncle, your daddy, your granddaddy, they won't go on like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to work today because yesterday you disrespected me. Come on, son. What we doing that at? What we doing that at? Who do that? Right? But y'all get the point. Y'all get the point of what she was saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna let this play a little bit further. And you know, we're gonna wrap it up, man. It's 2.5 hours in. I'm hoping, hey, put a 7 in the chat if you're enjoying the class once again. Put a 7 in the chat if you're enjoying the class. And we're gonna get into a little bit more because the Most High, you know what I'm saying, through the Spirit, use the Adawan Yahweh all to be very strategic in the answers of his questions. And IUIC, they've done 2 videos. They did 2 interviews, one with Comedy Hype, one with Jason Whitlock, and we've done one with one of the biggest radio stations in LA. You know what I'm saying? That's our praises to the Most High God that we were able to, even be chosen to do that through the brother Captain Shaqua who set this up. That's a mighty work. You know what I'm saying? We're glad we were able to even do that. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, we're gonna go through a little bit more of this. We're gonna wrap it up.
Used to accepting authority for people that look like us.
Now, this is why we went on that tangent, because he said we are not used to accepting authority from people that look like us, because they said that, Israelites come off disrespectful and aggressive and all that good stuff. That's why he said that, all right?
They're not submitting to leadership from our own. So we take it personal. When we play sports, we have a white coach that he comes down on you with every F-bomb and curse in the book.
Yeah. Now she's acting like that's so far-fetched, but she practices an African spirituality when she don't even know the people who really practice that spirituality to even take correction from the people of that religious belief. I just wanted to put that out there. That's cap, and that's very hypocritical, but let's go.
Yeah. And you're fine with it because it's just direction. Your master's degree teacher is unkind and very curt, and you take it as proper instruction, but when it's from your own people, you take it as disrespect. The Bible says this in Isaiah chapter 51:8, and this is very important. A lot of Bible believers don't believe the Bible. So I just want to read this scripture. Mm-hmm. It says, "Cry aloud and spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgression and the house of Jacob their sin." It's not our job to sugarcoat what you're doing wrong. We got to tell you it's wrong. And a lot of people take that as disrespect.
Yeah, go ahead.
Joe, can I take you back to my original question? I was talking about the spiritual practices that our people were practicing prior to Christianity, right? So you kind of skirted over it.
Trying to throw shots. He didn't skirt over it. He told you we didn't do that.
About the continent as a whole. So let me be very specific. Let's talk about the spiritual practice of Ifa, for instance. So a lot of us who made our way to America via the transatlantic slave trade are from West Africa. So one of the spiritual practices that we did bring here with us is Ifa. So for me, it's kind of problematic, to be honest. I'm saying this with respect.
Can you explain what Ifa is?
Oh, yeah. Ifa is the spiritual practice that, the spiritual tradition that's practiced by the people, the Yoruba people of Nigeria. Mm-hmm. So my bloodline, we trace back to Nigeria. This is a practice that I practice personally, and that I'm also helping to teach to the younger people in my family so that we can continue to carry on this tradition. So I'm assuming that you're an African American man. I'm assuming that your family members were also enslaved in this country. So for me, it feels some kind of way to hear you preach using the Bible, knowing that the Bible is not the book that our people originally believed in. And
let me ask you something. This is what happens when you don't know history. right? This is what happens when you don't know history, not biblical history, when you don't know history itself. Because when you know history itself, you realize why we ended up in West Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and let's go to verse 13.
Okay. This is
Right?
Matthew.
Hold on real quick.
Okay.
Real quick. Right now, you good. Right? Because the reason I stopped you was this. If she knew history, she would have known there's a reason why we ended up in Western Africa. Because they don't say that West Africans, right? They don't say that West Africans ended up on the transatlantic slave trade. They say that Africans as a whole went into the transatlantic slave trade. Am I correct?
Okay.
So why did they just say we left from the shores of West Africa? Because we were all there at one time. Why? That's the question. And when we was in West Africa, when we left that place, were there people that were already there? Read that for me.
Okay, and this is the book of Matthew, chapter 25 and verse 13. It says, but he that shall endure unto the end.
24 and 13, King.
24 and 13.
Okay.
It says, but he that shall endure unto the end.
Go ahead.
Unto the end, the same shall be saved.
Go go down to 16. Salaki, that was my bad.
Okay. Verse 16. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day.
Salaki, why do we flee into Judea? Somebody put that in the chat. Why do we flee into Judea? This is still a class, right? We got to think logically. Why did we flee into Judea? There were other people there too. We set up civilizations there amongst other people. And it's funny, it's the same reason why how Moses got what's the word I'm looking for? He got misconstrued as an Egyptian in Egypt. It's the same way. Same way how Joseph got misconstrued as an Egyptian by his brothers until he told them who he was in Egypt. Right? It's the same way. We fled our oppressors 70 AD from the Roman persecution. We were being persecuted, Roman persecution. The curses, the Romans were chasing us. SJ, you say something else stupid, you're going to get blocked too. Right? To escape the persecutions from the Romans, Roman persecution, right? Y'all right. So, but were there people already there? Or did we just flee into an empty land? We fled into a place where there was people that looked like us. So she's acting like because everybody from West Africa practiced this one religion that she found that so-called came from the western shores of Africa. But guess what? There was Israelites and there was West Africans over there. So how do you know which one you practice? This is people just searching stuff. And I heard in school we came from West Africa. I looked something up and we practice this. West Africans practice this religion. I must have did this. Like, come on. Come on. Right? That doesn't make sense. But when you don't know history, you can say stupid stuff. Go ahead. Let's keep going.
And that we were forced to practice Christianity. It's also a little troubling for me to hear, you guys put so much emphasis on the Bible when the Bible was the book that was used to enslave our people here too. So I really did want to get your perception on the fact that, you know, this isn't this is a new religion first and foremost, and that your bloodline probably did practice a completely different, a traditional African spiritual system. So is it more important for you to, you know, continue to go by the Bible opposed to just going back to your real roots and figuring out what your people did practice and then carrying on that legacy?
But one second, when you say it's a new religion, are you saying
it's not original?
Well,
it's not the first
what I'm
religion.
saying, well, okay, or is the interpretation of the Bible?
So if that's the case, if that's the first religion, and everybody's supposed to be following the first religion, Chinese people, Japanese people, Korean people, white people, black people, Africans, Mexicans, Samoans, Hawaiians, everybody should be practicing that religion because it's the first.
Right.
Stop the cap. Come on.
Differently.
I mean, both. The Bible is newer. It's
Okay.
definitely, Christianity wasn't the first religion. Hebrew Israelites weren't the first religion, and our people practice traditional African spiritual systems that.
Salakia, she keeps going in to say Hebrew Israelites wasn't the first religion, but nobody's teaching that. Salakia, you on mute, Adawan?
Salaki, yeah, I was listening, but yo, you right. You right. You know what I'm saying? You
Like
said. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say there was some information that I was recently hearing from somebody doing some stuff like theologian school or something like that. And it was like, you know, before the Bible would have been constructed up, you had something called Zoroastrianism. And Islam knows a lot about it because when Islam came into effect and they started forcing Islam on people, they destroyed that ideology or practice that these people were doing. So you had, I wouldn't doubt there's other things that people was doing. I mean, shoot, Israel came out of Egypt with trying to praise the golden calf after the Most High Power saved them out of being in that captivity with the Pharaoh.
Right. But when you don't know nothing, you say crazy stuff. And it's not a slight on a sister for not knowing. That's not the problem. Like, you not knowing is not the issue. The problem is when you don't know, but you talk as if you do.
Right.
Of course, Rob Judah. Of course. You're not going to. Because I said this earlier. Everybody loves being an Afrocentric. They was talking about polygyny earlier. And she was talking about how, I ain't no way I'm doing nothing like that. But guess what? Them Africans who you trying to follow the religion of, they got 16 wives.
Getting it in.
So what are you talking about? Right? Let's keep going. We're almost done.
That revolve around nature.
But
herbs
didn't that,
and our ancestors.
I guess one would say, did that not make it into the Bible though?
Nature and herbs are all throughout the Bible. What are you saying?
Some of it, but that's not quite. To be honest,
Joe, can you answer that question? And if you can you hold on for 1 second because we're getting up close to the top of the hour because I would love to hear your answer on that.
Absolutely. So do you want me to wait?
Yeah, just hang on. We're gonna get back.
Give his understanding or maybe explain why you guys wouldn't just go back to the real root, which is whatever traditional spiritual practice that your people practice. So I said in my case, my family practiced Ifa, and these are also traditions that they brought here to America with them. So I talked about how it's problematic for me to, hear you guys upholding the Bible and, using this as your tool, knowing that this book was used to enslave us, for one. And then for two, just, the fact that this is a new religion. This is a new book.
We're gonna listen how he answers. We're gonna listen to how he answers this, and we're gonna shut it down because
I gotta bring this out before we end this.
That's fine.
I gotta cut her.
Yeah, that's
fine. You can go.
That's
have you heard
of
the Free Blacks of Israel Hill?
Nah. What is that?
It says, just to the west lies Israel Hill, settled in 1810 to 1811, approximately 90. Formerly enslaved persons who received freedom and 350 acres from Judith Randolph under the will of their husband, Richard Randolph, cousin of Thomas Jefferson. These Israelites and other free African Americans worked as farmers, craftspeople, river boatmen, and some labored alongside whites for equal wages and defended their rights in courts. The family of early settlers, white, brought and sold real estate in Farmville. So it says Israelites. It didn't say anything else about black people, anything. And this was in 1810, like right in slavery. So what she's saying about our people coming from the west coast of Africa, these are the same people that came from the west coast of Africa.
Right.
And they were called Israelites.
Right.
That's crazy.
Practicing those customs. So it's like, why is it you use a word problematic saying it's constituting or presenting a problem or difficulty? Like the only problem or difficulty is it's a problem for you because you got people over here, Israel Hill, who have a spirituality that they keeping, and you got something that you keeping. So what's the problem?
Right. Yep. So we're gonna see how he answered this question. We're gonna shut it down.
Great question. You did mention something about the Yoruba people practicing Ifa, but right now the Yoruba people are part of the biggest conversations of Africans who are calling themselves Jews. Not only that, they possess Torah written in leather hide scrolls.
But Joe, hold on, because I want you to answer the question though, right? Because we're
when your ideology is being, you know what I'm saying, question.
Yes. Yep.
Cut them off.
Specifically talking about Ifa. So some of us do still practice Ifa. So let's talk about those of us who do. And consider the fact that this does predate Christianity and Hebrew Israelitism and the Bible.
1 second, because you're going to be hard pressed to quantify Ifa as a spiritual system with a date. But what I was saying was, when you talk about the Yoruba people, they call themselves Imo Yakwaim. That's strange people by the natives around. Why? Because they do not practice the customs of the surrounding nations. It's not good to put a blanket statement on Africans and say that Ifa was the overall African spiritual system.
I didn't say that.
Of Nigerians, right?
Well, first of all, there's the Yoruba people and the Igbo people. But if you look at all traditional or indigenous, in fact, spiritual systems, they are all very similar. They all revolve around nature. They all revolve around our ancestors. So I understand what you're saying. It's
you notice in her speech in that moment, the crackling in her voice, because it's like he's presenting information to you that it's obvious you are not familiar with this.
Yep.
And she sitting back here trying to talk about Ifa, or like he said, you're explaining it as being like the original thing that people was doing, but you just said, she just said, nah, that's not what she was saying. Like, hold on. You talking about this is an original spirituality that people was keeping before all of this. Like this is what folk was doing. And then when he addressing it, you like, no, like I'm confused.
Yep, because that's what happens when you have that I know something too spirit. When you have that I know something too spirit, you throw that out there in hopes that the person that you're talking to knows nothing about what you're saying. Because if y'all all would have said, I had to do some studying on that, sister, you know what I'm saying? I'm not too familiar with that. She would have had that smile on her face. She would have sat back like, yeah, because you know, and she would have been like, yeah, see? But she wasn't expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's finish it up.
It's some people that are a part of the Yoruba tribe or a group of people that no longer practice Ifa, right? I get that. But we're not talking about those people. We're actually not even talking about whether a big group of these people practice it or not still today. We're talking about the fact that it does predate the religion that you're talking about now. So my question to you was, why wouldn't you guys just go back to the root of what your people originally practiced?
Okay, but that
Is the root of what your people originally practiced, where they're wearing weave and hoop earrings and makeup and eyelashes?
Right. If you connected with these people.
Or did they have a bone through their nose, carrying baskets on their head, walking on ashes, doing them stomp dances in sand, and letting cows piss on their forehead? Let's be real, because we seen these Africans do this. Come on, y'all.
Okay.
Come on.
Again, would presuppose that you're actually right about what you're saying. So when I say that ephod, you'd be hard-pressed to quantify it with a starting date. Remember that our people went into slavery in the 13 and 1400s, but the Bible is from 2500 BC. Other nations like the Moabites own your Egyptian nations right of biblical persona.
So what you're saying is when did the Yoruba people or the Nigerian people that you're talking about start this tradition?
Since the beginning of our time. This is the
but he's saying
practice.
So she's trying to act like since the first man walked the earth, they was practicing this. Stop the cap.
What he's saying is what is the beginning of the time though? That's the question.
Nobody knows the beginning of human civilization.
Exactly.
So if you don't know, how in the hell are you saying this is the oldest thing? Come on, man.
But I mean, I know in Ifa, we actually believe that human civilization has been around for like hundreds of thousands of years, a very long time, and that we.
Oh, okay. With that, she don't know what she's talking about. She just throwing stuff out there and hope it stick. And I don't got time to hear it. I don't got time to hear it. That stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like I can listen to like brothers like I can listen to Polite. I can listen to Polite because Polite gonna come with some type of something that he read or researched at some point. I can listen to Umar because Umar gonna try to come with something that he read or researched. You just found something and now you just gonna say, well, how old is it? I mean, I know it's since the beginning of the time. Well, we don't know how old it is. What?
Like, what's the beginning of time? You have no idea.
100. Hey man, listen, man. Watch these types of dialogues when the Most High allows our people to get on these platforms and teach the truth to people, whether it's a big stage or small stage, whether it's a stage that you normally wouldn't be able to get on. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you are testing yourself to see if you happen to have to speak on the news or something like that. How will you answer the questions that were asked? Right? So with that, we're going to shut it down, man. Hey, it was a beautiful class. The water for tuning in. If you have not liked the video, definitely like and share the video when you enter the building. I mean, when you leave the building. All right, because we about to shut it down. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you tune into our class tomorrow for Friday night where you can ask any question that you want to ask pertaining to the Bible. All right, and with that, we are the sons of Thunder Israelites. It's our heart sharing, our prayer and desire for Israel that it might be saved. Shalom.
Shalom.